Mass said he would jump in if you wanted another perspective. Now, Mass
I would
had
love it. Hey, we're live, so just letting you know.
okay, yeah,
Sorry, I clicked the button, but I would love it if he came through.
yeah. So you can just send him a link, and then he'll jump in.
Oh, today.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
even better. Okay,
yeah.
so we are live now. Let me go ahead. Oh, see, we already got someone in here. Gorilla Photo saying the two of
What's
you
up?
are a great team. Thanks,
That's
Gorilla
cool.
Photo.
Yeah. Now he's really one of the real OGs, right? Like,
Masshole.
oh yeah, yeah. He's really
Oh,
one of the
all right.
real.
Audio's coming through. So let me just shoot the link. Should I just send it to the whole guild at this point?
Well, I
No,
would,
no.
yeah.
I don't know if I can DM him, but let me.
You can put it in the head honchos.
All right, I'll just put him in the head honchos. That's a good idea.
Hey guys.
What's going on, everybody? Hold on, give me 1 second. We may have another guest on here. So.
Oops, sorry about that. Every time.
May want to join this morning's live stream. There's the link. All right. Cool. Morning, everyone. Mario is here. Tim Hendricks in the house. What's going on? Ben Holiday, Tilly Tots. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It seems like Darkestnyte is making this a regular thing, so I'm not gonna hold him to it, but I really hope you guys do.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, how was your weekend? I know you had a good time. You traveled a little bit. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Went down to Florida, did some beach time. Drove down there to hang out with my son, and he's home from leave. He's in the Air Force, so he was home on leave. Just turned 21, so went down there to help him celebrate. But other than that, it's been really good.
There you go, man. Well, this is perfect weekend, Memorial Day to hang out with him.
Yes, absolutely.
And now you're back. I was surprised you came back like a day early or 2 days early.
A day early, yeah. Just I wanted him to have fun. It's not so much fun having the old man. I
turned 21 with your dad there.
Exactly.
That's fair enough. Well, we got some exciting things that we want to chat about today. I would say some of the big topics that I think we're going to cover are the little experiment that you and I ran, running wild and modern teams to run up to champ, and then we got the rewards update in 2 days.
Yes.
So yeah, lots going on. Where do you want to start with the little experiment?
Let's start with you. I mean,
okay.
Let's start with the modern for me. I mean, I think we've all seen battles with Wild, right? But the experiment was to see how competitive a modern deck would be using only modern cards, right? And see how quickly we could get to champion. And it was pretty interesting.
Well, and so it started mostly with Chaos Legion cards.
It did.
And then it evolved into more modern as you were kind of following along some of the battles that I did. And so yeah, so for me, it was a struggle, and you were watching along and shooting me. I would get these messages from Darkestnyte every time I'd like have a battle and be like, "Ooh, that one was rough." Or he's like, "I saw you lost 5 straight." He's like, "Don't worry, I ran into the same thing." And I was like, I know, man, it's been an absolute struggle, but okay. So I started the season, and I don't have the timelines here, but maybe within the first couple of days, getting up to like the 3,200 range. And so to get to champion, right, you need a 3,700 rating. So the 3,200 range was where I would always hit this wall, and I would always lose 5 in a row or more and drop back down to 3,100 or even lower, sometimes back down to 3,000. So it was definitely a struggle in that sense. That was like the first main wall that I hit. The next wall I would say was probably like more of like the champion, like previous champion runs, which is about that like 3,600. So and I hit that towards the last couple of days as I was working towards it. I would say, and I think we even talked about this on last week's stream, but I would say that the biggest takeaway from anything here is just how powerful Kelia is, because Kelia was the only one for me that was performing against a lot of the older cards. I mean, if you guys saw some of the videos over the past week, I beat that. I've beaten Jotun many times, but I started to be able to beat Kitty. I started to be able to beat Prince Renan, and then I beat Cryptmancer with that video from of Yabamat, who's people saying that's not him. I don't know, maybe it's not him, but whether it was him or not, being able to beat some of the beta level legendary summoners with Kelia was something that I was pleasantly surprised with. The thing is with Kelia though, is it's not just her, but she and her team are really good for larger mana games. Like I really need 30 plus, maybe even like 35, 40 plus mana, so I can put all the big boys in there, and her big boys can go to town against a lot of the other big boys out there.
Oh yeah.
So that was probably, I guess, the long story short, like the full snapshot of how that went for me. Now I know that you made it into champion obviously earlier than I did, and so then you started delegating some of the other modern cards out just to help me out. And so I would say that 3,200 barrier was real, and I do wonder if I was only able to get past it because afterwards you had given me Jotun. And surprisingly enough, you sent me Jotun, and like the first couple of games I played with Jotun, I kept losing. So a lot of it, like, it made me realize that there's you talked about this earlier, where it's just like I really have to think through strategy here, because I think Jotun, you can only Jotun spam in the lower levels, right? Once you get to the higher levels, there's a lot of other Jotun counters out there. I mean, we just mentioned Kelia, but even with a lot of the other, Kitty's like almost impossible to beat with Jotun sometimes. And yeah, so it was definitely a struggle, but I made it there, and I think I made it there yesterday or 2 days ago, so with like 4 days left in the season.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I could have grinded much more quickly. I could have spent more time and tried to get there a little bit faster, but I do maintain that I think Jotun did end up coming in handy in a lot of scenarios. So I hate to say that you need Jotun to make a proper champion run, but I don't. It's one of those, like, I don't know if it's necessarily Jotun or if I would need some other Jotun replacement, like a Lamacron or something, right? Because like even at the higher levels, I mean, now it's getting more difficult because they've put in many more like cron counters, we'll call them, right? But like 17 mana games, or even like 13 mana games with Llama can still be tough at the higher levels if you don't have the proper things. Or more often than not, it's not that I don't have the ability, it's that they're going to do some dumb thing like Earthquake or Poison rule set or Blast rule set, and it's just like, okay, well, I'm not going to beat a Lamacron with a Blast Poison rule set on 17 mana.
Yeah. I again, looking at some of the progression of the season, right? I've never really paid attention to too much, but there's definitely a progression, right? And hopefully, this is one of the things that they smooth out. At the beginning of a season, the rewards are much more significant. They're significantly higher, which brings out the more competitive players, right? Yep. So the first 2 days is absolutely brutal, right? In fact, I would get pushed back and sometimes even to gold, which happened this time, right?
I was surprised because I saw you. We met in gold. I fell out of diamond into gold, and then I was surprised to meet you there.
Right, and again, I got crushed, right? So, but the interesting thing is that you get pushed back to gold. Now, what impact is that going to have on reward shares? Right. Remember, I'm going for champion level chest, getting pushed all the way back to gold. So what I suspect will happen during a new season is we just won't, the first couple of days won't be about getting all those chests for the dailies until we get back to really champion. Yeah. And what happens when I get to champion? I typically stop. Not so now it'll be a race to get back to champion just to get the proper
champion level chests.
Right. Well, I'll get the champion level chest. It'll just take me longer to get them.
Sorry, champion level R shares.
For
that. But I guess the thing is, you and I are probably not. I don't know if you would call us average players, because I think you and I really don't care about ECR. We can just play
Well,
nonstop because we enjoy it, right?
right.
And so part of me is like, not I'm not as worried about our shares, because, like, for me, I get a lot of enjoyment from playing the game. So the one thing I'm worried about, like right now, there's not much incentive outside of just like the dopamine hit of like playing another game and getting the win. But now if it's just like, oh, I can calculate that I'm like 3 more wins from another chest.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even care that my ECR is down to 50%. With what I'm currently earning, I could probably get another chest in 3 to 4, in 3 to 4 wins. So yeah, screw it. I'm gonna grab another cup of coffee and I'm just gonna go for it.
Right. Now, here's the thing, right? In the past, I haven't cared about ECR, right? But I got down to 11%,
Yeah.
right, for this contest. And I said, I'm never doing that again. Because here's the reason why. At Champion, when I won the battle to get me into Champion, I got 3 DC for that, right? Three.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had some good, wait, hold on, let me look at it real quick. I had some pretty good bonuses, right? So hold on, let me find the last one.
If you want to share your screen?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
All right. So why don't you work on that? Let me catch up on some of the chat here, because we got a lot of folks coming through. Tilly Tots, Wing Credits. They may have to change the channel name. Fun for all. Hey, love seeing the dynamic duo. I can only hang for a few minutes. No worries. Fun for all. Good to see you, Croths. What's going on? Yep, only a couple more days. Cahill's in the house. Win credits. What league am I going to play? I am. I'm probably going to play not champion. Diamond, and I believe Darkestnyte is going to play champion/diamond, or at least start back in champion and work with their way to diamond.
Yeah.
Question. Okay, so hold on. Wolfshire says I have 2 accounts. One is not maxed gold, but has a few splinters for maxed gold. Or okay, and maxed still for the rest. The others. So what's your question? Oh, I was thinking about switching cards on the accounts, so I get the bronze account, silver.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I don't know. I think we're going to learn a lot. I honestly don't think that we know. I think people are going to be experimenting a lot this first season, maybe even first 2 or 3 seasons, just to figure out, like, do you want the higher level rewards, like the higher quality rewards, or do you want a higher quantity rewards, right? So that'll be something to think about. Icy Flows here. Are you all set? Oh, there you go. Got your thing added in here. Icy Flow saying that's why I'm focusing on diamond and maxing out chests for more cards. I mean, I think diamond rewards are still going to be pretty sweet. I actually think gold rewards are going to be pretty good, at least compared to where they're at right now.
I mean, even what we saw on the QA server, right? We were opening up bronze chests, and they were, as far as I thought, I mean, they were better than what we have now. That's for sure. So I think any chests are going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, when you compare it to the current state, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited because this makes a much better new player experience, and then it rewards players who are investing more in the game and playing at the higher levels. So State of Survival is asking about packs, if they should wait until CL is sold out, then open to get new summoners, or should I open to get all the summoners? I'm thinking to sell the packs and use that money to buy the summoners. I don't know, man. This is like, it's really just up to you, right? Like, I can't, if you're asking this from like a financial perspective, I definitely can't advise you. If you're asking this from a strategy perspective, I think that we don't know enough about the new summoners to know how to value them. Obviously, Grandmaster Wraith. Ooh, that's another one we need to talk about. Grandmaster Wraith seems like a good start, but they may all not be at that level. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? Do you want to guide State of Survival?
No, I mean, I mean, there's no real right answer, right? It's like buying a lottery ticket, right? He could come out huge or not, right? There's a bunch of risk associated with that. We know that after the pack sale's done, which they're predicting to be November-ish sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
The price of those packs will go up some amount, because we've seen that for every release, right? So you could sell them for, right now they're $4, so you can sell them for $10, and then buy your summoners, right? There's so many different strategies, and no one strategy is going to be the best. What? So I'll tell you what I've been doing. Is I have a bunch, some packs, and every now and then I decide I want to open a couple. And so I use my potions from my winnings, and maybe I'll open up one or two. Right? Should I save them for later? Probably, but that's not why I play a card game. So I want to open packs, right? I want to get that quick hit, even though it's that short term benefit versus that long term reward, right? And
Yeah.
we live in America, so we're not really good with that.
Yeah.
So,
State of survival. Let me give you at least some kind of definitive answer here, or at least some kind of guidance for yourself. It really just depends on how patient you are and when you expect the Chaos Legion packs to sell out. Right? Like I mean, I've thrown out predictions from a bunch of different ranges. Right now, I'm thinking that December, the end of the year, but I could see this going 18 months, just like Untamed, and I don't think that that would be bad. Right? I know Aggro just posted November as a potential date. I think he's being really bullish. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. In fact, I would love for it to happen. But the question is, what do you want to do between now and November? Are you cool playing with whatever cards you have? Or do you want to try to have a better game experience now? Right? It's not necessarily like there's just so many factors in there. I don't know. I would say people who are holding on to packs that are thinking that they can flip them for a ton of money, they're going to be holding on for a while. And I'll tell you this, when your packs, right, when the Chaos Legion packs that you are holding on to do a 4 or 5x, if they do that, right, they're selling for $20 on the secondary market. Guess what? All of the Chaos Legion cards are probably going to do a 4 or 5x from where they're
yeah.
at right now. So it's not like, you're going to sell these packs for like a bunch and then all of a sudden come back and buy, $5 legendary cards anymore. I don't know if that's going to be the case, right? Like, I think the entire market is going to rise. So it really just matters. The only thing that really matters is how you plan on spending the next, your time over the next like 6 months, 12 months, whatever it ends up being.
Because if you get good cards that are critical to the meta, right, then think about the winnings you'll get over that time that you would have been waiting for, your assets to appreciate, right? And it's interesting, right? The packs are basically tokenized, right? So they're like each pack is equal to another pack. It's not until you open them that they turn into NFTs and you mint those, and then you get the value of the NFT in the game, if that makes sense. So it's like holding on to Bitcoin in your wallet, and then it turns into an NFT once you actually open that pack. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
All right, here. You know what? Because we're gonna try and do this like the AMAs that they have. Because I know folks keep putting questions in, and I definitely want to answer the questions. But
absolutely.
let's get back to what you were doing, what you were talking about, Darkestnyte, with your journey, and then we'll have like an open question session where we're just people can throw in questions, and we'll actually focus on those.
Okay, so before I click on this, one thing I do want to acknowledge, you're dead on right with the Yodin, right? When I sent you the Yodin, your reaction was, oh, okay, I can now start to dominate my games. And what I find, and I'm guilty of this too, is I'm an emotional player, right? You and I have talked about it. And so when I
So am
see,
I.
then I get to play Waka, right? Waka is one of my favorite cards. I will force it, right? And that is that causes so many losses for me. Like I'll force a certain card, which I know the rule set doesn't support, or I can look at what my opponent has been playing, and I know I should play one card, but I play a totally different card because it's like, oh, that looks great. Like I almost always play Dr. Blight, right? But I know that it's not always the best card to play, but I'll still throw it in there just because it's awesome. So this is one of those, and this is actually the win that actually got me to champion. And what I want to really highlight is after the battle to look at the breakdown of the bonuses, right? I think that's going to be the critical thing going forward. So I'm just going to hit this. I think I'll slow it down a little bit. Oops, there we go. Hold on. Let's do 2 times. So, and again, this battle really could have gone either way. But you'll see, again, it was Enrage. I love Enrage.
So Enrage and Reverse Speed. It's interesting. Why would you put Uraeus on there?
Backline to hit the backline.
Okay, because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
slow in this.
yeah.
I mean, I love him, but it felt a little redundant with poison too.
Yes, it was, but I needed something effective for the back line, and it was one of my sneak with armor,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay,
And that's why Erase is so awesome, I think, is it has that one.
that one armor.
Yeah.
Nope, definitely comes in close. Oh, I'm assuming you probably saw there was a miler in the mix.
Yes. And I just had to run the risk, right? That he wasn't going to stick affliction on the monk, which he did though. So
Oh, there you go. I got
yeah,
poison.
yeah. But it's interesting, right? Dr. Blight and Erase already have poison.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm wondering, like, the value that Waka has right now is he's a cheap summoner, right? Death summoner. So like for folks who don't have, was it Zintar or Contessa,
Yeah.
he's offering. Well, I guess Contessa's technically modern format too.
Yeah. I like it because it's the only death summoner that has an offensive,
Buff.
not a debuff, right? So, all right, so we're coming up at the end.
Yeah, no, solid win.
Yep. So now yours was 10 times better. That got
well, so that is something that I do want to share once once we get the win here.
Right. So I could have probably sped that up, but all right. So here's what's interesting, right? So if we look at so I got 3.4 deck for that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a champion level win.
What's your ECR at?
11.6.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. So, but the bonus is, right, there was 25% for win streak, 10% for gold cards. I think gold cards are going to be huge in the new reward structure. Promos, I mean, you still get 10%, but alpha promo cards, we don't get a whole lot of those, right? So I don't know how critical that'll be. Beta cards, and then guilds, right? Guilds gave another 15%. So
wait, so hold up. And you only got 3 DEC?
Yeah.
3 divided by 0.11. That's kind of nuts, because that means that champion with 100% with all those bonuses, you still would have only gotten 27 DEC.
There you go. So I'm hoping, again, from a ranking perspective, I got a significant number of ranking points. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the new reward system will kind of fix this, right? That we're getting chests throughout the day, and the actual win per game becomes kind of irrelevant. I'm hoping, right? So,
you know, one thing I need to actually get some clarification on, and maybe if you know, or if someone in the comments knows, please let me know. When it comes to the reward shares, is that coming from a pool, or is that just calculated and given out? It's because it's not really like a currency. You know what I'm saying? Because
I never said.
I based on the table, I don't think that that's the case. But I do wonder if something like towards the end of the season, people start getting less reward shares because the pool has dried up. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be that could be a problem for, you know, again, disincentivizing people to play towards the later parts of the season. I don't think that that's the case, and I think the only like thing pulling from a pool is going to be DEC. So at the beginning of the season, if my assumption is correct, then you're going to have people who are coming in because the DEC rewards are higher, but technically your reward share should be the same the entire season.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with getting rewarded through the daily focus and end of season, right? Like, I mean, even if that were 30 DEC, I mean, that's not incredible, right? I mean, even if we're 10 times that amount, over the amount of games I played, it might be okay, right? But I'm not looking forward. I don't really even pay attention to those, other than the fact that I'm getting crypto. I do like that.
Yeah.
But it's not really an incentive one way or another. Now, I know for some people it is, right? But for me, it's never really that incentive.
All right, let's take a moment to take some questions in now, and then I'll share some battles in a little bit, or at least my run to champion. So what are your thoughts on this? Chuni's saying ECR has been devalued. with this new reward structure. Okay, I think this is actually somewhat of a nuanced perspective, but let me know your thoughts on this, Darkestnyte. I actually think ECR has been devalued. I'll agree, devalued for people, but become a significant barrier for bots, because if you are a player and if you are a good player, right, then you know that you can have a good win streak no matter what. And even as your ECR starts to slide down, if you're confident in the fact that you can continue to win games, you can get something out of it. Whereas bots before, they could just play X amount of games, right, per day, and it doesn't matter whether they win or lost, because eventually the numbers would have them win enough to get the daily quest, right? But from like a rewards pool, or like DEC rewards pool, that I feel like is going to be solved with asset ownership. But I think ECR is going to be the other side of that, where they're not just going to be able to farm rewards cards in the same way. Like you're going to have smarter bots.
Yeah, and smarter players, right? So you'll have to manage it. It really depends on what your motivation is, right? If you want to maximize your reward shares, then you're going to have to probably watch your ECR.
Yeah.
I bet you could make a calculation for how many games with a certain ECR you'd have to win to equal if you had 100%, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure it's pretty. I mean, there is a calculation, right? There's a formula that they gave us. So I think people will play through, again, what they want, right? Is people to play throughout the day, play throughout the season. You probably wouldn't want to do what I did, right? Which is just completely burn out and just race towards champion.
Yeah.
Because then your rewards just won't be there, right? It'll take you too many games to play and win to be able to equal what you would get if you had 90% ECR. You might have to play 3 battles. I would have to play 30, to really equal the amount of reward shares we're getting.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question: is that beneficial to the game, right? And again, if you want people to play more, is that beneficial? I would say probably not, right? I want to play what I want to play. I don't want to think about ECR, and I want to get the rewards for playing a lot of games, right? Or playing the games I'm playing.
Well, so in a way, I guess Chuni's right. Like ECR has been somewhat devalued, because let's put it this way, right? The way that you play the game right now, and I would say that you're probably in like the top 10 percentile, 5 percentile of like people who love playing the game for the game itself and will put time in, right? And you're not doing this for DEC rewards. You clearly got your ECR all the way down. So for you, I feel like this is incredibly rewarding, because now, like, you didn't care about ECR before, but now you can earn way more rewards technically. Well, actually, I don't know. You can.
I think it'll be the same, to be honest.
It might be the same, but the thing is, like, the quality of chests will be better. You may not be able to earn the same amount of chests, because I think you get like 20 something, right, in champion, but the quality of chests that you get will be significantly higher. So maybe maybe it just evens out.
Yeah. And the weird part about that is, I mean, we say that, right? Oh, the quality of the chest will be significantly higher. But again, we haven't seen it. Like, so what is that even going to look like? Am I going to get a bunch of legendaries? Gold legendary fulls? Probably not. Right? So
we're going to have a 300% chance higher. So
what does that look like, right? Does it look the same as a bronze, and then every now and then I pull something awesome?
Well, if you're getting champion level chests, you're going to be getting a crap ton of DEC every time DEC is pulled. So that'll be pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Now done. Okay. What's going on? Thanks for being here. Do you plan to sell your rewards cards, or you keep your reward cards or sell them? Chuni's asking. I actually think I might sell them early on.
Man, I don't know. We know what happens, right? So when a new card drops, right, everybody wants that card, and nobody wants to, right? Even though they may know a week or 2 later the market's going to be flooded with these cards.
Yep.
Right. Everyone still wants him like right out of the gate. So.
Yeah. So I think demand's going to be high. I don't think that it's a bad idea to sell your cards early on. Honestly, I was thinking that I might just do that because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people where I've been around the space long enough now where I've seen, the kind of hype cycles, at least for Chaos Legion. And I'm just like, you know what? I can be patient. I'm going to see what strategies develop.
Yeah.
And if day one, day two, if these cards are going for, I don't know, 5x, whatever they'll probably end up falling to, then let me wait to see what the strategies are. And I will, I'll jump in at a later time and grab them. I don't know. It really just depends. What if, who knows, like, Darkestnyte, if you'll be getting like champion level chests, you might just max out max out all the legendaries after a week with the high drop rates.
Maybe. I mean, that's the hope, right? So
Yeah.
it would definitely make it worth it.
Hey, what's going on, Joseph? Chuny saying, do you think pack sales will pick up after the airdrop, as buying packs might be the best way to exit out of DEC? I do.
Yeah.
I think we'll start to see that as one of the main drivers. Let's see. Urge open packs will dominate. Yes, many people I think are going to open packs after.
Absolutely. Even though they don't want to, I think they're just going to just.
Well, there wouldn't be any benefit, right? So, and if we're like still several months away and you're not getting airdrop points for it anymore, people might just take the chance. I think a lot of people are itching, and I think the end of the airdrop will give them the little nudge over the end or over the edge. Yeah. Harris is in the house. What's going on? Paul, what's going on? Dishonesty here. Good to catch you, man. All right, Chuny's asking, I'm assuming this is a question for you. I think I know the answer, but if you want to answer it.
Yoden.
Yoden.
Sure. Now, I have on my son's account a llama, and he wins with it a lot. Llama Kron, right? But he plays at a lower level. Right now, I think he's at diamond, but normally he's in gold, right? So.
I think I know this, but if you want to share it, I think it'd be a good little bit of an expansion on the answer. But you don't really like to play Earth, and yeah, so I don't know if you want to just kind of expand on what your thoughts are on just the Earth team overall. Has Chaos Legion changed any of that for you, or are you still kind of feeling like meh about Earth?
So yes, it has changed, right? Because Earth has some really powerful cards, right? Queen Mycelia is just ridiculous. It's more lore, right? I mean, I like the lore of playing the Death Splinter. It's the thing that drove me. That and dragons, right? So dragons first, death second. It doesn't feel like an exciting splinter, right? It's just, hey, the birds are chirping, and then they may get razor talons, right? But it just not exciting, right? Death exciting, fire exciting, dragons exciting. I don't play the life splinter hardly at all, right? There are times when I know I should play it rule set wise, but even that, though, I think that's going to change, right?
Yeah.
But I have the things that I just have an affinity for, and just life. I mean, the Earth Splinter is just not one of them.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I love that it's lore based though, because I think that that might be fun in the future. So now Done Okay saying that they thought there'd be a huge change and card prices would go up a lot higher. I mean, I think people just don't know what's coming. But I also, guys, like I don't expect like the world to just like shift overnight and things to go to the moon. I don't think there's enough factors here that'll make us go to any kind of moon at this point. Ben saying we need an ECR anonymous group. Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait. What are you talking about ECR anonymous? I don't have an ECR problem. I'm totally fine with my ECR problem. ECR being super low.
Oh, we need to support each other, right? Yeah. Don't worry about your ECR. It'll be fine.
Just a support group. Yep. IC Flow, what did you just calculate? G'day, JT Random. All right. Y'all want to take an early stab at Wraths per BCX price out of the gate? I don't know. Price predictions don't really get me, but if you want to go with one.
I think it'll be very similar to Quicks, right? I mean, if you look at all the summoners, right, while they're in print, and that's the key, right? While they're in print, a maxed out summoner will typically go between $290 to all the way up to about $500. So I think the range will be somewhere there. In fact, you could probably bring up just the life summoners and kind of see what they're selling for now. Or actually, let's see. So summoner life. All right. So these are all your summoners, right? So you have General Sloan at the bottom. and then you're going all the way up to the Peak Rider, which is kind of what they're implied was going away, right? Same thing for Tyrus. So again, for 11, I'm thinking we're going to be right at, if I had to guess, and this is just a guess, right?
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
somewhere between Chancius and Tyrus, right? So go with maybe maybe the Lorna Shine price. Yeah.
Lorna Shine? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's again, I could be way off, but I think it's going to be right around Lorna. Lorna's powerful, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
OP. And I mean, again, it's going to be legendary, right? So if you look at a full maxed out copy of Lorna, you could get one right now for 1,200. So I think it'll be between that 1,200.
Wait, you're talking about like I think you're saying
Oh,
per BCX.
per BCX. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, even still. I think let's look at that. Yeah, 50, maybe $50.
Yeah. I think $50 is probably a good range.
Yeah.
Or good prediction. So I think it's actually gonna be higher and then obviously fall as they come out into supply. Here it's hard to do a prediction, but I tried to give a range early on.
Yeah.
And my range was between like the low floor, and again, these are soft, right? Soft floors and ceilings, but the low would be Quicks the Devious. So whatever Quicks the Devious is trading at, it's definitely going to be higher than that. And then the high, it's a toss up between Chancius and Dr. Blight. And the reason I put Dr. Blight in there is because Dr. Blight is out of the legendaries, it's going to be one of the most scarce cards overall. So with that trading near $100 or I don't know what Dr. Blight is at, but with Chancius trading at $100, I think anywhere between that like $35 to $100 range is where we're going to see it fluctuate. I don't think that it'll ever go below Quicks. I mean, unless it comes out and it sucks, but it really seems like it's going to be a very powerful card for life. So, people may not like playing life, but it might be one of those where it's just like, well, if you want to be a competent player at all levels, you need to have this because this is one of the only real Magic protective cards.
So question then, based on what you've seen for Wraith and Chancius, which one would you rather play with?
I think it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down to situational, right? I think if you know that you're going to be up against some like a Magic heavy team, then obviously you go with Grandmaster Wraith. I think that Chancius has some interesting elements that has made him very annoying as like a support summoner to get past. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's very situational because I feel like with let's put it this way. I feel like with Grandmaster Wraith, he's very specifically designed almost as like an anti-magic summoner because there's not too much return fire or thorns on the life team. At least I haven't seen much. I mean, I know there's a couple out there, but in the current meta, or at least for like modern format, you have Pelacor Conjurer and Blinding Reflector, two like heavy magic reflective. So like those combined with Amplify and Void Armor to me signal that he may not be a great all-around summoner, right? So he's not going to be like, a Jotun or a Llama that can win in a ton of different scenarios, but he's going to be like a specific where it's just like, oh, if I know what my opponent's playing and I can counter it perfectly, this summoner is going to be like the major difference in this game.
Yeah.
So probably overall, I would still choose Chancius on like, again, it's hard, right? Because every game's so different. It depends on the rule set. But, I would probably still pick Chancius over Grandmaster Wraith. I don't know. It really depends on, what Rift Watchers and maybe even Rebellion brings. Because if there's a lot more Thorns, Return Fire, and Magic Reflect added in, then all of a sudden, a summoner with Amplify becomes really, really powerful.
Yeah, I think so too, right? I think we have not seen the full impact of Amplify. Now, I have a question, and maybe somebody in the comments would know. Can you stack Amplify?
You cannot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've asked that and I've heard it around. Yeah, it'd be kind of crazy because then you'd have a triple stack of Amplify with
Yeah.
using Dax Paragon and then Venari Spellsmith. But
Oh,
that'd be way too powerful. All right, same question here. Jobby's in the house. Does ECR affect your accumulation of reward shares or just DEC? Both. It will
both.
affect both of them. Oh, Randy's in the house. What's going on? It looks like extremely hard to get maximum 150 chests without gold full cards in a single season. Yeah, I don't think that they're expecting people to get 150 chests, which to me,
So either.
hurts champion players the most because they're the ones used to getting the super high amounts. But they're offsetting that by giving you way more high quality rewards.
It's interesting, right? If you want quantity, you stay in the lower ranks, right? Probably. If
Mm-hmm.
you want quality, then you go up to the higher ranks.
Yeah.
So it depends on what's important to you.
Well, this to me, it depends on. Sorry, you nailed it right on the head. When I look at it, it's like if you can play at the higher end of a league, right? And we're talking about silver, bronze. Like if you can play at the higher end of a league, you're going to get more reward shares per win, obviously, right? So it's going to kind of be a toss up for me where it's just like, sure, I can play at the lower levels of diamond and I will get higher quality rewards, but will those higher quality rewards offset me playing at the highest levels of gold and getting more rewards of lower quality? But I think that might just become like a personal preference that people need to figure out.
Actually, I have a quick question back to Wraith, right? So I asked Chancius or Wraith. So let's add another one. If you had to pick the Peak Rider, Chancius, or Wraith, then what would you pick?
I've never played with Peak Rider, so I can't speak on this intelligently.
Yeah.
I've played against him and I hate him.
Yeah.
That +3 armor is so annoying. Again, it seems like Peak Rider seems very situational again. Right? That +3 armor comes in really handy, but if you're going against like a magic based team, they can kind of mitigate both the debuff and the buff that Peak Rider is offering. So looking at like all the legendary summoners from beta on down, right? It seemed almost inevitable that life would need to get some kind of magic protection because none of the monsters none of the summoners that they had really offered anything. In fact, probably the closest one was Lorna because it just offered another hit, right? And that's what made her super powerful.
Yep.
But I think between the three of them, I would still go. And again, this is assuming the most general of a situation in terms of rule set and battle. I would probably still go with Chancius. I think that the support that Chancius offers with armor repair, with triage, that's very, very underrated. And then Resurrect can come in handy a lot actually.
Yeah.
So I think he's still good. He's going to hold his value well as just like a general life summoner. But here's the thing. I almost wonder now if he's going to hold his value because he's great as a general life summoner, but maybe people just won't play him as much.
Right.
Because you understand what I'm saying? Because if the other two summoners are very situational, so for example, General Wraith is going to be really good with anti-magic, and Peak Rider probably will excel very well in games where magic is not allowed or there's weak magic. You know what I mean? Both of them might get more play time because they're good at what they do rather than being a good general summoner. And when you think about from like that general summoner sense or like general meta, like he's obviously one of the worst, I think, when it comes to comparing him to his peers like Yodin, Llama, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or even Mimosa, right? Mimosa's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So.
In fact, I would say Mimosa would be his exact counter, right? It gets rid of the triage. Doesn't do anything for the resurrect though, so that's still something. Maybe not. Maybe they're well matched. How about that?
I mean, I like Mimosa. The thing is, Mimosa is super powerful with Affliction, so I think triage, and then against Kitty as well. I think Mimosa's one of the better counters there. So,
yeah.
But it's interesting how they kind of all balance each other out. We've answered this before, but Team Phoenix Rising asking, did the team make too many Chaos Legion packs? No, they didn't. When do you think CL will sell out? I think December, but again, I'm literally pulling a number out of my butt. So
Yeah, it's. I mean,
or a
I
date.
know we want the packs to sell out so we can start getting appreciation on our assets. But the best thing that the packs do is allow new players to come in and buy, right? And to get that joy of opening packs and building their team. Um, to not have to go to the marketplace and buy, cards, right? For a new player, any card they open up is going to be awesome, right?
Yeah.
It'll help them get to where they, play more games and be more
Yeah.
competitive.
Let me put it somewhat harshly, and I'm not speaking for the team here. I'm just this would just be my approach if I was thinking on their behalf. Like, let me put it this way: the team doesn't really care so much about how quickly you get an ROI on your
Correct.
investment, right?
I-
They in the long run want to reward people who are playing the game and who buy assets and are part of the ecosystem. But in terms of wanting you to get an ROI on your packs tomorrow, that's at the bottom of their list. At the top of that same list is getting new players into the game and having a way for those new players to be, having a way for those new players to experience the game and be able to buy packs for cheap because people like to buy packs. So the truth is, and I'm not saying this about you, Team Phoenix, but the truth is, like, if you or people have that mindset of like, oh, like they should burn packs, they should, get rid, like, I would wager that the team probably doesn't even want you here because you are not the type of player that they're looking for. So they have like zero incentive to listen to this whole, like, let's burn packs. Again, I would not mind burning packs after we've hit like maybe the 12 or 18-month mark. If pack sales continue to go super slow, like let's say we get to December, right? Or even October. Here, let's put it this way. Let's say we get to October, which is like when they consider the first sale, right? Because it's part of the pre-sale. So for them, that's like the 1 year that they wanted Chaos Legion to last. If we get to October and we have not unlocked Grandmaster Wraith, then I might be one of those people that's like,
yeah.
yeah, you know what? Maybe the people who wanted to burn packs have something to gripe about. But at this point, we're well past half of it, and we've seen some more guilds coming in. I mean, there was 100,000 packs bought just a couple of days ago.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I just feel like with everything that they're doing from the game side and improving the experience, so rank rewards and then modern and wild, as long as that stuff comes out this summer, I think we'll be well on our way, not towards maybe selling out, but definitely you'll see pack movements over the next couple of months. And if we don't see that, and October is what, 5-ish months away, 4.5 months away. Like if we don't see any movement on packs in 4.5 months, then yeah, that might be something to consider. Granted, if that happens because Bitcoin went down to 15,000, well, that there might be a very significant reason for that. But it seems like there's a lot of exciting things happening in the space. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add on there.
Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of factors, right, that go into pack sales. I mean, if you look at the state of things out in the world, right, this is still entertainment, and there are people out there that are taking their assets, right, fiat and other things, right. They may not be focused on buying cards or buying packs. They may be focused on other things
Mm-hmm.
depending on where you are in the world, right? That's kind of been the impact of this bear market, right? Where do people put their remaining assets so that either they can grow it or preserve it? So this is going to be an interesting time, right? Do you, and again, even if looking at food prices, right? Do you buy a pack for $4 or do you, buy dinner, right? So I mean, and that's
It's a
it's
tough
a
choice.
real consideration for people,
Yeah.
right? So I know that just in our bubble of Splinterlands, right? Like everything we're saying is true, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we just can't predict those external forces and how they're going to affect pack sales. But again, to your point, I love having packs out there, right? I love when
Yeah.
new players say, "Hey, I bought my first pack." In fact, when you make your new account, you pay your $10. Now they're giving you, 3,000 credits to, buy whatever. I think that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So getting them involved in the economy, getting them involved in the community, I think is critical for retention.
Yeah, I don't think that we're ever going to see a situation where the team goes 6 months again without having packs available in the
Yeah.
market. I think that was just a one-off thing. They were not prepared for Untamed to sell out and
Yep.
Dice to sell out as quickly as it did.
Yep.
And to go from, I think they sold out in July, and to go from July out to January of the next year, it sounds like, and again, this is all arbitrary to what the team
Yeah.
decides, but it sounds like Matt, when he talks about having a gap between the sellout of Chaos Legion and the sellout of Chaos Legion and the introduction of a new set, is probably just a couple of months. And I think if you take everything that the team has been saying in aggregate, so aggro thinking that we're going to sell out in November, and then the roadmap saying that we might get the Rebellion in Q1, I mean, again, if this plays out to the way the team is expecting it to, that's 2 to 3 months, right, of time in between. And so I don't think we will see crazy asset price appreciation the way that we did.
Yeah, and you add on to that, right? Like there are so many sources of cards, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
have reward cards, we have promos, we have packs. Like there's so many different card sources, and they are constantly loading up those sources with new assets, right? On Monday, right? Or Tuesday, we're gonna get new reward cards. Right? I mean, they didn't have to do that. They could have said, you know what? Let's wait till the current slate, is done. But
Yeah.
no, they're constantly refreshing. And I bet you, just looking at reward cards, if you never bought a pack, right? Let's look across everything, right? I bet you could build an effective team from just reward cards, right? If you're depending on the level you're playing at, right?
Yeah.
Never buying a pack whatsoever. These cards, as you play, you're still getting them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may take you a while, right? But you still have. I mean, these are excellent cards if you look at some of them.
There's a lot of good ones out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you get a legendary reward, let's look at some of those, right? If you have any of those, right? Think about that. Robo Dragon Knight, right? That's a card that they gave you for free just for playing the game,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
So,
what about Ruler of the Season Kraken? I mean, those guys dominate the water splinter.
right, and they're still doing it, right? They're still
Yeah.
giving you those cards. So I think everyone can, again, to what Agro always says, right, is people should be able to play the game the way they want and focus on the things that they want, and I think they do a really good job supporting that.
Yeah. All right, Willa D, what's going on? Wibble's in the house. What's going on? Where can I find historical prices of basic versions of cards? There was a website.
I have it. Give me 1 second. It's I'll have it on the other computer actually.
Splinter. I haven't been there.
Dollar. I thought it was. I just signed up for it this morning.
All right,
Give me
maybe
a second.
maybe someone will answer in the comments. And Andy has had a counter Jotun with CL Silver deck. I only have one answer for you. Actually, I have two: Quicks and Kelia. Frags Mania. That's the only way that I've beaten Jotun in Silver. And usually it's either Kelia with the water team or Quicks with the water team. So it just depends on how you want to go about it.
I'm gonna try to find that.
You can try to find. Okay, let me get to some of the more questions here. Some more of the questions. The Chuny, do you get more than a 10% bonus if you use more than one gold card? Yes, each gold card will get you an additional 10%. So you can get up to 60%. Actually, 70. Holy crap, you can get up to 70% bonus on using a summoner and 6 monsters. Furious Chickens in the house, saying that Lear can defeat Jotun, Chancius, Immortal Shield Bearer. Those cards are a little more pricey than going with the Kelia deck, but yeah. Kelly can beat Jotun. Speed beats Jotun. Yeah, I mean, Kitty will beat Jotun many times too. But again, it's tough. Brave Tofu. There will probably be another legendary summoner that gives Deflection Shield as a counter to Wraith, similar to how Lear technically counters Jotun. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that as well. I think them releasing that ability with the rewards cards is a preview of us seeing it in one of the upcoming legendary summoners. I think, there's only so much they can do in terms of like plus minus the basic stats, whether that's armor, health, shield, or not shield, armor, health, speed. So it's really like we're going to be seeing a lot more of what the Untamed Summoners offered, which was abilities rather than those like plus or minus debuffs. So I think about what were some of the new abilities. I think I even made a video about this a while ago where it's just like, what if what if a summoner offered like camouflage to everybody? So your entire backline was invisible. Like that's almost like creating a taunt, right?
That's
Or
yeah.
so you could create a taunt around any monster at that point. I don't know if that would be OP, but it would definitely be an interesting way to adjust the meta.
Figure
Now
out.
we need more packs so I can buy them at $2. The bum pack discussion again. Oh, burn pack. Look, I mean, hey, I don't. I'm not trying to. Shut down Team Phoenix Rising. The thing is, there's probably a lot of new players who come in that are just trying to figure out like what's going on and think that packs are not, being sold. But it's like if you understood what the team was trying to get at when they released packs 6-7 months ago and they wanted it to last a year, then I don't think it's fair to judge them 7 months in. So that's all it is.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? If they wanted to increase pack sales, they could do it just by offering a discount.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they wanted to, right? There has been no need for them to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we are on now. Sorry, Masshole. I didn't realize Masshole messaged me. Feel free to stop by anytime. All right, we may get another guest on here. So I think Aggro knows something that we don't. I think Aggro knows probably a bunch that we don't. That he can't talk about. Like here, let me put it this way: it's super annoying when the team, Aggro included, talk about like, oh, I got all these like backroom deals and things that I can't tell you about because it's like teasing us without ever giving us like anything. But I don't think that he's lying, right? There's never any point where I'm just like, oh, he's BSing and like making stuff up. It's just annoying because it's like, don't tell us anything until you can tell us something.
Yeah.
So
but again, if he's been doing AMAs now forever, right? I think he said that in his last, right? He does them. He's been doing them. I think he's not fearful of his client base, right?
Yeah.
He just says it how it is. I don't think anyone's ever caught him in a lie about anything, right? So at least as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just open book. He believes in decentralized gaming. He's proven that. The node sales, really the purpose of that was to give it out to the community.
Yeah.
So I think, I think his perception of where we're going is going to be beneficial to everybody.
Yeah. Let me try to rephrase this for folks because I think State of Survival has a good opinion here, or reframe it, not rephrase it. There's about 6 million packs left, right? A little more than 6 million, but we're just going to round it down to 6 million. Okay. That's $24 million, right? Assuming no discounts or whatever. The node sales selling out, and I can't believe that was Wednesday. This has been a long week.
It really
it just shows we're gonna have an exciting summer, man. Things are gonna be dropping, and we're gonna be so deep into it. But the node sales show that there is definitely an appetite. There's money out there for this game, right? $4 million, boom, just like that, came into the game for the node sales. So when I think about packs and them selling out, I am on the mindset that what Aggro shared about the last like curve being vertical. I can definitely see that happening. Now, when does that happen, right? Is it going to be when there's 1 million packs left, 2 million packs left, 3 million packs? Like if we get to 12 million packs, are there going to be heavy investors out there that say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I can drop $12 million on this game because I know the moment I buy all of the rest of these packs, there will be, I'll get an immediate return on investment because they won't necessarily be going for $4 anymore, but they'll be going for higher.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to the other computer and grab that site. Just 1 second.
Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, let me get a couple more questions in here, and then we're gonna bring on a fellow guildmate. The Light Summoner is like 6 mana, Lorna Shine, good vibes, +1 armor, plus Void armor. Nice. Okay, I agree. Darkestnyte. Oh, someone wants to know what Darkestnyte's brand of gaming chair is. All right, we'll have to come back to that. Pierce will counter Wrath. Kid Yuff. Oh, Kid Yuff is going to be finally have some stuff there. All right, let me remove that. And Masshole, you good? Let's see. All right, there we go. Masshole's in the house. What's going on, Masshole?
Not much.
What's going on? Welcome to the stream. We're live. We've been live for a little bit. Sorry, I didn't see your message until just now.
Oh, that's
but
right.
How are you doing, fellow Archmage Ariist guild member? Oh, let me get Darkestnyte back on here as well.
Hey guys. Yep.
Guys.
Yeah. So I found it. It's Summoner's Lab.
Summoner's
Hey,
Lab.
Yep.
All right, here we'll come back to questions in a bit. Oh, actually, no. Someone wanted to know what gaming chair you had.
Oh man, I forgot the model. TBD. I'll let you know when I look at it again.
All right. So, Masshole, we were just talking about there being too many Chaos Legion packs, or the counter argument to that. If you want to give folks a quick introduction, how long you've been in the game. Darkestnyte says you're one of the true OGs. So what? Nope, it's not. You're not one of the true OGs.
I started at the end of beta.
I guess you're still the earliest amongst us, I suppose.
Yes. All caps is the OG. He's the only.
We'll
maybe Red.
OG. Let's put it this way: you're the OG on this stream.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay. So you went? Did you get in right at the end of beta, or when beta was already sold out?
End of beta, I bought 100 packs, maybe 100, maybe 200 packs of beta, and I was so new I didn't know to buy potions either when I started. So I was opening packs without potions in the beginning, beta packs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you had put some legendary gold foil on those.
I got a gold Z urchin in my beta days, and I sold it for $30, and I was just pumped. A gold Z urchin.
What is that going for today?
I think it's about 8.
Wow.
But at the time,
At the time,
$30 was huge back then. So, yeah.
So you got in, you bought some beta packs. You saw the last, I guess, real cycle where packs sold out for beta, and then we went into Untamed.
Yeah.
And then obviously the same thing happened with Untamed selling out, going into Chaos Legion. Are there any similarities or things that you see that you can share, just some wisdom from that time period to now?
They go really fast when it gets down to the end. The packs start disappearing. I was lucky enough to get in to see that with Untamed, and I bought a few hundred packs of Untamed right at the end. And then I didn't see the spike in cards. I didn't see it. It was just crazy when Untamed sold out. And for me, it was awesome. It was crazy. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I made a lot of mistakes, and still make mistakes. And yeah.
So I was going to say that's just a follow up for that is, what are some of the mistakes you made, or maybe not focusing on the mistakes, but like, what are some of the ways that you are viewing how you will, kind of attack the end of the Chaos Legion sale?
How to attack the end of it?
So essentially, like taking what are some of the mistakes that you learned from with the end of the beta sale, with the end of the Untamed sale, and like what strategies would you have for the end of the Chaos Legion sale once we get there, right? Who knows if that's going to take 6 months, 12 months?
Well, it seems to be that there's times when you don't make money opening packs, right? And a lot of the guys are talking about just holding the packs because you're going to go 5 times with the packs. And if you don't get GFLs, you don't make money. It's as simple as that, or even gold foil epics. And that's the only way you really make any money on opening packs anyways.
Sure.
For me, it's you play the market. That's what you do. You buy cards for cheap and you hang on to them, and you just buy cards that you're using all the time. Buy cards that win. You don't need all the cards. You just need the ones that win, right? And the cards that are beating you all the time, and you don't have that card, that you need that card, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that go up in value, right? As far as getting to the end, buy a whack of packs, open some for fun. It's hard not to. right?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, it's really hard not to. It's easy to say that you shouldn't open them, but it's fun. Opening packs is fun. They made it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you flip those cards, it's where you make money is in the beginning. When you get a pre-sale, you make good money, and then at the end, you can make really good money because the price, once they sell out, the cards are just going to go. They only have one direction to go, and that's up, and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not hard to predict. Just make sure you get in near the end and make sure you have a few hundred packs, whatever you can afford, and you can decide if you want to open half and sell half, or you'd sell it all. And it's for me, you just buy off the market, buy cards off the market. That's where you're gonna, you just got to watch the market. You got to watch the market. You have to see you have to know the prices, and just over time, you got to just once a day or once a week or whatever, watch where prices are at.
Yeah, I agree.
How are you seeing the market for cards now? Because I think we saw a lot of money come into this space this past week, but that had everything to do with like SPS and nodes. The card fluctuations, I think, have more to do with the game meta changes that are happening, right? So first with starter cards being removed, and then the upcoming ranked reward update, and potentially like Modern and Wild will change card prices or value or devalue certain cards.
Yeah.
But how are you focusing on that in terms of like what do you look at every week?
I always do a round of gold summoners. I just deal in gold.
Mm-hmm.
I try to. Obviously, I have quite a bit of non-gold cards that there's no way I can afford them. I've sold them, right? I've sold some good gold cards because I lost track there. You're asking me a question. I don't even answer the questions.
It's all good. It's a free flow conversation.
Yeah. It's the price. Yeah. Watch the summoners. Watch the legendaries. Watch the rewards. That you can make a lot of money on reward cards. They're going for a penny. Like I went and listed all my cards the other day. I was like, because I accumulated about 6 weeks worth of reward cards, and then I sold them all. And you make 15,000-20,000 DC when you do that. But I didn't sell the Pelacor Bandit. It's like, I'm not selling this for a penny. Are you kidding me? Everybody uses this card. This card's going to go up when that print goes out.
Yeah.
Right? I'm buying those. Buy those cards. All caps. He once had 370 wood nymphs. He would just buy a wood nymph every day. And that sells out. That was one of the first cards. It's the only healer card, and he knew that card was going to go up. And then he would sell like 5 wood nymphs a day for like a year. And every time he goes to sell them, they were going up and going up. So he was making 10 times, 15 times on wood nymphs. And later on, he's making 100 times. He was buying those for a penny, right?
Jeez, what?
Yeah. And what's a wood nymph at right now? How much?
During the height, I bought wood nymph for like $4 or $5. I don't know what it's at right now.
He bought them for a penny. He had hundreds upon hundreds of them.
It's going for 265. So that's a 265x. That's insane.
Yes, that's what you do.
Oh my
you
gosh.
Buy those reward cards that are worth nothing, and they go out of print. And if they're the ones that everybody uses, then they're just going to go up. You're going to go 10 times on a Pelacor Bandit. There's I've got, I don't have a lot of them, just what I've mined. So I got like 60. And I have my gold one. I only use the gold one. If you're using that card all the time, that Kelia is just out there. It's just everybody uses that Kelia. I don't even know how to use it good yet.
Yeah.
That's what beats me is that card and that stupid sneak attack. So we know that card's going to go up. You're getting them for a penny. But what I'm concerned with is, you're right, the print rate. There's a lot of cards out there. Is there too many chaos packs? There might be. If we didn't have these bots, everybody does a lot of bot bashing, but those are the guys that are driving the card prices up because they have so many bot farms.
Should be driving the card prices down?
They're driving them up. The bots, because they got to buy cards. Right?
Oh, okay. So sorry, you're right. They were driving it down before, but they're driving it up now because they need the cards. Yeah.
Yes, they need the cards. And the more profitable it is to run a bot, the more cards you're going to sell, and then the print rate's right. So people that complain about bots in the and Discord, it's like, we need those guys. These are how thousands of accounts are bots, thousands of accounts, and if they packed it in, if it became unprofitable for them, then we got way too many cards, and then the game crashes.
Yeah,
that's what I see.
I mean, is that a legitimate risk you see happening with the way that the reward structures have been happening? So, for example, back in October, we got like gold, or not gold, but like bronze 3 was no longer able to earn, and now they've expanded upon that, making it so that every account will need to own the cards. I don't know what the next step would be, but it seems like this is a good step for now. But
It's very good. They still need to tame because they're right. The team is. I have a saying: don't bet against Yaba. He's gonna make it work, right? It's like, if he says something, I'm gonna try to listen, because obviously he's taken this to where it is. And yeah, there's lulls in the market right now. We're in a chaos lull. Same thing happened with Untamed. In the middle of Untamed, nobody was buying packs. They were just sitting there, and it's like, card prices are dropping. Nobody's buying packs, and then boom, all of a sudden they were gone.
Yeah, gone.
Just like that. And it was like, you got to watch that. You got to watch that.
Yes.
So now, Darkestnyte, you came in, you said December 2020?
Right when that was happening, because what Matt says is cards were there, right? I didn't even know you could sell out, right? We're moving so slow. I was like, oh, there'll always be cards, right?
Yeah.
And when they were gone, I was like, wait a minute, we could sell out of cards. And then I started looking over at dice, right? And I'm like, oh, well, I can buy dice. And then they were gone, like within a couple of days. And really, it felt like hours. And that was it. And for 6 months, we had no cards that we could buy.
That was brutal.
It was super brutal.
And the prices went up and up and up and up and up and up.
Yep.
Well, I think that's also a reason that we got so much interest in the game, right? It's because everything went up, combined with the airdrop that just threw DEC completely out of whack. So people kept coming in thinking that it was going to last forever and keep going. Like, I remember I bought a ton of O'Shaughnessy's at $40, thinking that it was going to reach the prices of the other legendaries at that time, which were in the hundreds or 200s. Yeah. And so, that was my big lesson learned, where it's just like, okay, this stuff is going to go through cycles. And now, with enough, hindsight is 2020, and being able to look over the past 12 months, like, I look at that and I'm just like, there's no way that cycle happens again. Right. Yeah. The team was completely underprepared. Everything I know about where the team is at now is like, they're already working on Rebellion. Right. So if Chaos Legion sells out tomorrow, I don't think that we go 6 months again with no new rewards cards, with no Rebellion, with nothing. Like, there's things happening for them in the works that we wouldn't have that same kind of, perfect storm of factors, because also Bitcoin was hitting new all-time highs back in October, November of last year.
Yeah. Which was great about what was great about the crash recently is we're holding these cards, and the cards held. They didn't dive 50%, 40% or whatever, right? So I'm looking at this as like, I already took my money out of the Bitcoin. I lived off it all winter from the game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no, I got no coin left. And it's like, oh, it crashed. Oh, right on. Oh, I still got all these cards, right on. Right. So I, up the mine, the SBS mining, and that's working really well for me. And I'm accumulating still, even though everything crashed. Now we can buy our coins in cheaper if we wanted to, right?
Yeah.
I'm still milking this airdrop as much as I can.
The thing is, for like Chaos Legion cards and current reward cards that are currently in print, I don't know that it's like the fairest comparison to look at those and like where the price is going, because to me, while they're in print, that's still like, there's too many factors in there. But I do look at the other cards, like Untamed, for example, or some of the older cards. I feel like those dipped, but you're right. In the most recent, like, with everything that happened with Luna a couple weeks ago, they didn't get a hit as much. But I think about YodaNet at like $1,000, and it's now trading for 300, and I'm like, okay, well, that's like a 70% decline. But also, like, you can make the argument that it never should have been trading for $1,000 in the first
I would
place.
agree with that.
But the DEC was way up back then. See, that's another
True,
thing.
true. Oh
Now
yeah, you're right.
times a DEC for a sale like that, and that
Mhm.
it follows around Hive Engine as well. Like the price of Hive, the price of DEC kind of follow each other a little bit. And with DC, what 2 months ago was what 0.35, 0.0035, or like
Yeah.
3 times what it is now, right? So you get a lot more DC for your cards, but DC still got a crash to go. Well, when do people start selling off their farms? When the SPS airdrop starts coming to an end.
So actually, I think that's a good transition. Like, what are your thoughts on what is going to happen with this game after the airdrop finishes? Because this is there's no precedent for this. A lot of people have some their opinions, and I've shared more than my share of it. But I'm curious how you're thinking through like what you might be doing between now and the end of the airdrop and after the airdrop finishes.
Well, I want more DEC right now.
Yeah.
I'm short on DEC. We bought those nodes, right? I cleaned
Mhm.
up my farm. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down, and maybe with a month to go, maybe we milk it right to the end. The day of the final airdrop, there's gonna be a big dump.
Yeah.
And what do you do there? Do you try to beat the market? Like DC is already pretty low right now. If it stays around that where it is, 0.07 I think is the lowest I've seen it, and I can't remember. It's been so long ago since, but yeah, I don't know. It's there's going to be a time to sell. That's for sure. I've cycled through my DEC, and sometimes I sell off my farm and then I just replenish it for cheaper. Right. I did that last week actually with the node. DC went up with that. That node was a great thing because I've almost replenished my farm even after buying the nodes and spending all my DC and buying extra SPS, getting extra vouchers. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. I was like, I'm thinking we should be buying 4 or 5 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And because you could have sold them for $200 profit the next day.
Yeah.
Right, the next day. And I don't want to though. I want that node.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised guildmates don't want to share some of the other guys, but I guess they don't have what we have for funds, right?
Right.
I think that's genius having shares in the guild. I don't think anybody's doing that.
Yeah, and it's definitely a good retention as well, right?
Yeah.
Ownership in the guild has been the thing that has driven the guild, I think, since the beginning, right? That it's a player-owned guild, right?
Do you guys want to speak on this? Because we've talked about like guilds a lot on here, but I don't know how much you want to get into. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But Darkestnyte, like I found this whole like guild ownership model really interesting. Now, full transparency, like I'm not part of that, and I'm not asking, but I'm just curious, like what the benefits have been for you guys or what you've seen, because maybe this could be something that sets a precedent for, or like a good example for other top guilds out there. I'm sure there's probably different kinds of arrangements, but I really like what I've seen so far with Archmage Arius.
I don't think anybody's doing what we do. Go ahead, Dirk.
No, I was going to pass it over to you, right? Because you were there at the beginning-ish, right? I came in after, so I would love to know this too, like how it got started like that.
Well, the ownership thing was, it's just there's money being made in the game, right? So what the ownership thing is we're trying to get Mr. Arius to accumulate funds, and now those funds are owned by us, the guild owners. So Mr. Arius did very well. We got ourselves to level 10. What did he spend? Like 700,000 DEC to get us up, and DEC was a lot higher back then too. And that account made that money. And All Caps is excellent at managing crypto. Like he's just amazing. The stuff he does, he's doing stuff in that account that he spends a lot of time on it. And all those investments, the DC we charge every season, anything we can give that account, we all have a share of what's in that account. So it's the whole thing. It's a long game. Mr. Arius is a long game. Like me and other people, we throw our assets around and try to maximize and a little bit of micromanagement. But with Mr. Arias, that's the long game. You put it in there, it sits there. And he'll shift it around and, oh, I should buy some Hive. Hive's low. I would love to have $1,000 in Hive right now, because in 2 months it's going to be $1 again. Hive should be at $1. It's a great chain, and it's at what, 47, 49 right now. That's a bar. I remember when Hive was 20 cents. Like that was crazy. I was selling my cards. I sold my collection. I had a Max Champion deck, Archmage, Prince Ren, and everything except Valnamore, and I sold it off and went to gold, and that's how I made money. And it was crazy. And it's like, as I was selling off, DC was going up. I'd sell a card for $200. The next day, I have the DC I got was worth 300. It was absolutely nuts, man. I was and selling a whole champion deck at the time that I did.
Yeah, I can imagine that being high.
That was crazy, man. I made about 50 grand. It was crazy, absolutely nuts. And I pumped it back in the game into gold, and went to Gold League because I'm looking at Byzantinist, and he's the reason I'm doing it. It's better. It's cheaper to buy 2 gold level decks than it is to buy a champion deck, because you only need 6 of the legendaries versus 11, right? So it's almost you can get 2 decks going for half the price, and that's why he's doing it. I was always wondered why he wasn't pro, because he saw that a long time ago, and I didn't see it till way later.
I remember you telling me that when I first joined, right? You said, "Hey, why buy gold cards?" And I was like, "I can't afford them." And then, but this iteration, I now see it, right? So that's why I made that.
Well, you can
just to clarify for folks in the audience, we're talking not just Gold League, but also playing a complete gold foil deck in Gold League.
Right. Yeah. Well, one of the things you can do, you guys, is if you look at your maxed out cards, well, that's harder because it's Champion League, right?
Right.
To buy a legendary champ gold card, that's a lot of money.
Right.
In Chaos Legion right now, you could probably do it for $280. So it's the thing is, gold is up right now, so it's a bad time to buy gold unless they're reward cards. So.
Yeah, which is exactly, I think, what we've been doing. So Masshog, I guess I'll ask you this. So there's a card up on the screen, the Veneri Crystal Smith. Do you think that is the new Woodman?
No. I never used that card. It's maybe it'll get better with the new summoner, but life has always been a little behind. Green is way too powerful all the time. Anything green goes up in value all the time.
Interesting.
White is not. If you know how to use it, it can be very dominant. In champion white's actually pretty good. That Shield Berries maxed out really helps. Yeah. The game's really always been behind in return fight. So, because it seems like range attack is the way to go most of the time.
I mean, I actually use Venari Crystal Smith quite a bit in gold because I find General Sloan to actually be decent. But again, I'm not playing for leaderboards in gold. I'm just playing in gold 1.
Yeah. Or you're in gold. I thought you were doing a race for champ.
I mean, so my deck is in gold technically, but it's a race for champ because Darkestnyte's sending me some of the cards that he's not using.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I have any chance of going for champ.
Any healer is a good buy. The cards can go up in value for many reasons, and the healers are always worth more. You look at the Goblin Psychic. Again, it's a green card. It heals at level 1. So that card's always going to be in demand. The thing's 25 cents for a regular foil. Yeah. And that's a common. Any healer is a good buy. It's good to hold them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Crystal Smith because a lot of it too is I want to see cards that have high value at the lowest levels, right? Because I think what ended up happening is many folks who came in last year or at the end of last year none of them were really thinking about playing at silver, gold, or even diamond. Like a lot of them were just like, how do I play in bronze and have, a good experience? And so for me, I'm one of those people that bought Wood Nymph at, level 1 or 1 BCX, because having Wood Nymph and renting Mylar or buying Mylar were like the two things that allowed me to dominate bronze at that time with the, with the way the meta was back then. So, to your point, Darkestnyte, like I'm kind of viewing Crystal Smith the same way. It's a rare card, so it's a little more scarce and it's probably more expensive now. I don't think it'll ever drop to a penny, but I can see it having a good life in bronze in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, the Crystal Smith is healing at level 1. That's always going to have a value. I don't know if white does anything in bronze. I really can't stand Bronze League. I tried it. When I sold off, I was playing bronze and silver. I didn't have enough money to move up the gold league.
Mm-hmm.
Silver really, it was a grind, man.
Yeah, bronze and silver is tough.
It is. You're playing work. It's a job. Literally, you make good money here, and you got to spend the time to make money, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick moment to answer some questions. So Ben's asking, is the suggestion to keep all these at 1 BCX and not worry about renting? Yeah, I mean, again, there's an opportunity cost of like buying without offering it to rent, but I think the idea is that when these cards do go up in value, sorry, let me not say that so definitively. When these cards are out of print, they will tend to go up in value based on, obviously the demand that comes in for them.
I mean, that's what we've seen in the past, right? So, I mean, unless something significant happens, I think we could expect that'll happen, right? But it's not any guarantee that that'll happen, right? So
yeah, see, and this is what I'm trying to prime people for. I'm just like, if you're buying these cards now and expecting 100x or 200x, like all caps was able to get on Wood Nymph, I don't know that that's going to happen, right? But I don't see, in the future, I just don't see these cards being 1 cent or 2 cents.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a Spellsmith is a really good card. It's not going to be. It's just a healer. All healers are worth more.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the healers.
So Icy Flow saying there's enough DEC in the game to buy 1.25 million packs, which isn't that much. And I agree. So even if everybody dumped their DEC back into packs, we'd probably only move from 8 million now to 9 million. But that does lead me to a follow-up question, which is for both of you. And that is, at what point, whether you have the money or not, right? Whether you're planning to do this or not, where would you then ape into Chaos Legion packs, right? So if you just had that mindset, if you had the extra capital, where would you ape into Chaos Legion packs? Would that be once we got to 11, 12, 13 million packs? Like, where would you see that and be like, I've seen this story play out before. I'm going to get my bag right now. And Darkestnyte, we can start with you if you want.
So it's the when, right? So in terms of what number we have packs left, I think we'll all do it right around the same time, right? So there are, I would say, right around 11.
11, okay.
Yeah, I'd say right around 11. I mean, because unless the price changes, right? I mean, I can get them for the same price I can get them yesterday, right? But everyone's going to do that, right? 400,000 people, I think. So take a subset of that. Say 10%. All decide to buy, 100 packs. So that's $400, right? And they take some of their winnings, right? Remember, our asset prices are still going to be going up, I think. Yeah. And so when that happens, they sell those cards, convert them over to DEC. And I believe we can buy packs with DEC now, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So, and again, that's pretty much a fixed price, right? So I think right around 11, I think we're going to see what we saw on, with Untamed.
Yeah,
I think people they'll say, "Oh, my time is up." And again, like we're talking about it now, there are tons of other conversations being had the same way. Hey, when are you going to buy your pack, right?
Well, I don't deny that there's going to be a waterfall effect, right? But like for you, like when would you be targeting it? Sounds like 11 million.
Yeah, right around 11.
Okay. What about you, Massel?
I think the final million is what.
That's it. Okay.
Days.
So you'd wait until we hit like 14 million?
Yeah, I would. You're tied up. Your investment's tied up. What are you gonna do? Right?
True,
So
true. And you wouldn't be earning any airdrop points at that point either.
everybody in the game knows that SPS is not going to be at 9 cents in 2 months. When that airdrop ends, SPS is going to be 20 cents minimum, I think, because we're selling it every day. They get airdropped every day. They sell their SPS every day,
Yeah.
right? And 9 cents, that's a bargain. If I had money, man, I'd have millions of SPS.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
and
trying to
you're a
get
big
to.
fan of. Yeah, I think you're a big fan of SPS after sound. So I know that's a thing that you.
Sold every
Yeah.
Yeah.
out at $1 and cents and 50 cents. Sell, and then went down to 30. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to sell anymore.
So it's really weird, right? That's an interesting thing, right? Because I think we have three different perspectives on SPS. The only time I buy SPS is when there's something to buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Waka or the notes, right? I'm not thinking about SPS outside of that, right? It gets me the thing that I want,
Yeah,
the utility of it, right? Which is what they wanted, right? That's exactly what they wanted, right? I don't buy vouchers unless there's something specific that I want.
That you want. But from the SPS and vouchers that you're getting now, do you sell?
No, no, not at all.
So you just hang on to it. Okay.
oh, it's horrible to sell SPS right now. 9 cents at an all-time low. It's not quite there, but I don't know what it's at. I didn't check today.
It's like 8-9 cents, somewhere in between.
Right. I mean, they're going to come out with another card, right, that we're going to want, right? Again, for me, I love the Waka promotion. I love the whole thing about it. It was awesome, right? They're going to do that again. And I want to make sure that I have my SPS, I mean, I'll get it when it's time to get it, right? And I might buy it now with the expectation that, there's going to be something great in the future. So,
yeah, no, I mean, SPS is my biggest bag in the game, and I just feel like that it's the best way for me to feel like I have some kind of ownership in the future direction. Right? Like if I want to bet on Yaba, right? Which to Massel's point earlier, don't bet against Yaba. So if I want to bet on Yaba, I feel like SPS is the best way to do it. Sure, you can go to like individual cards, and I buy individual cards now in order to have a better game experience. But when it comes down to like my investing philosophy, I've stopped like buying cards to like, well, no, I shouldn't say that I've stopped, but I'm not as focused on buying cards to like have as like, cash flow cows the way that I was before, where it's just like, oh, I can buy a card and earn DEC revenue from it. I think the game meta changes too much and too significantly to think that like cards will always have a certain type of value. So for me, if I want to bet on the entire thing, I'd rather go with SPS.
Yeah.
sorry.
At the end of the airdrop, because now it's no longer tied to collect. That's another that might happen. How are they going to keep the value of the card, especially the gold card, when you don't collect an airdrop for it?
Yeah, well, it sounds like that there's a lot of value to gold cards now due to this whole reward shares thing, and that's something that I wanted to ask you about, Masshole, because you changed your strategy a while back where you're focusing only on gold cards, and obviously that made sense for you from an earning perspective, and I think people are now waking up to that because there's a new added incentive. But you might have already touched on it when you saw Biz was doing it, but what are you seeing in terms of like where gold card values go in the future based on these changes?
Gold's, where do I see? Say that again, sir. At least.
So like where do you see like the value of gold foil cards going in the future? Because you mentioned like after the airdrop they wouldn't be as high.
Yeah, their gold goes up slower than everything else. When Chaos first came out, obviously coming right out of the gate they're way too much, but after it settles down, gold is cheaper. And right now, with the reward announcement, it went up. So their team is always trying to make gold better. The Splinterlands team, so they're always going to find a way to make it go up because you're investors. We are investors in this game, and the ones that are investing gold, you want to keep those guys happy. So they're always going to find ways to make sure that our gold is pulling its weight. So that's
Darkestnyte, have you ever felt the pull to go with a gold foil deck?
Yes, and again, recently, right?
Mhm.
Not the whole one, right? Again, we looked at the percentages of the bonuses. Those bonuses matter, right? So, especially now with the rewards rework. So, yeah, I feel it definitely right now. But even, I think, Mass, you told me this a year ago, right? You're like, hey, man, ditch, ditch the regular, go with the gold, and I just couldn't mentally go there. Right? And the reason why I couldn't mentally go there because from a utility playing the game standpoint, which is what I am, a player, right? I couldn't justify it, right?
No,
Even with the bonus, I couldn't justify it. However, I realize, and this game is full of these kind of realizations, right? That one thing you thought at one point, right, as true, turns out to not to have been true, and you missed an opportunity. So for me, had I bought cheaper gold cards last year, my deck might look very different, and I would be more prepared for the reward rework right now. Again, looking at the rewards is a year ago, it didn't matter whether I got an extra 10% deck. It didn't amount to anything. But now that I can have a better chance of getting the rewards and getting gold legendary cards being in champion, those gold cards will get me there faster, right? Because of the bonus. And I
Mhm.
could not have predicted that, right? I don't think anyone could have predicted that, but here we are a year later. To Mass's point, the team has found a way to have gold cards pull their weight, and now they're really going to pull their weight.
so they're gonna hold. They'll drop with the prices at the end of
Sure.
it. But what you did, Dark, was what I did.
Hmm.
You in the beginning, if you opened a bunch of packs, you got a gold one, you sold it, so you
Yep.
could buy. That's how you grow. You wouldn't
Yep.
get where you were. I sold all my gold cards in the beginning, and
Yep.
for the gold card I sold, I was able to max out 4 other cards. So
Yes.
three
Exactly.
cards. If you're trying to be competitive, that's a great way to start. I did it. Bice took all my gold. He robbed me, and I got in the beginning because I didn't know. But
Right.
I was a noob,
Right.
and whenever I got gold, Biza, what are you going to give me for this? And he would give me all my maxed out cards that I needed for equal value,
Yep.
and he
I
made
remember.
off like a bandit in hindsight,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
what you're doing isn't wrong.
Right.
Just when you get to a point where, okay, I'm maxed out now.
Yes.
Now what do I do? Well, here's what you do: you sell it, you buy the gold, and then you sell the regular foil. And what ends up happening is you're just upgrading it for $100. By the time you sell your regular foil, because you replaced it with gold, you're really only paying, say, $50 more or $100 more. I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I buy the gold, I sell my regular, and it's like, hey, I only paid $50. This is hilarious, and I upgraded to gold.
Yeah.
You know what I
Which
mean?
again
So,
has the utility, right? It has that
yes,
utility now.
more
Which,
utility.
yeah.
But yeah, no, you did good. You did good. You've made money, and that's what you're supposed to do in the beginning. Sell off the gold to because it's just too. There's too many cards there. To
Mhm.
to start a gold deck, that's too much money from
Yeah.
scratch when you don't have any income from the game.
Yeah.
That is what you got to do. You got to sell the gold and buy the cards to be competitive.
So you would say for new people in the game to actually sell their gold cards and then max out their deck. I'm just curious, when does this flip? Like, when would you recommend the flip where people start then focusing on a gold deck? So, and the reason I'm asking this is because I'm going through this process right now where I don't have a fully maxed gold deck, but all my summoners are maxed for gold. I have a lot of all my legendaries are maxed for gold when it comes to Chaos Legion, and it's a matter of just going through and getting the epics and the rest of the other cards. But part of me, inspired by you, Mass, is thinking like, well, maybe do I want to stay in gold because the investment to go into champion or diamond or champion from here would be significant. But what I can do over the next however many months is start getting all of my monsters gold foil and having like a very solid gold foil gold league team that I can just focus on in the future. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know
Yeah.
what the better, I don't know what the better course of action is, but it's like weighing on me. 'Cause I'm just like, I think I use that splinter cards tool, and it's just like, I'm going to need to spend like another $4 to $5 grand just to max out my Chaos Legion deck. And I'm like, I don't have that. And if I did have that, I'd buy SPS. So like, you know, like how do I like be comfortable with the league that I'm in while also trying to maximize rewards? So now I'm thinking about doing that exact flip. So I'm just curious when you would recommend that for people.
If you are, do you have everything you need? That's what you got. Once you have everything you need, then you can work on transferring over to gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had everything. I still don't have everything I need. I'm missing lots. I can't. There's no way I'm gonna get a Jotun. It's not happening. But I had 2 llamas, but I kept them separate, and I ended up selling them to Jacek. He bought them for $3,800 a piece. What am I supposed to do with this? Am I going to combine these and sit on that card? Like, it's just do it when you're. It's easy on the cheap stuff, right? Get the rares. The summoners are what's tough. They're so expensive. We could have been getting Dahlias for $25 before it went big. Nobody liked that card in the beginning.
Yes.
I know.
We didn't see it. I didn't see it. Card sucks. I was thinking to myself, now I can't get away from it. Now I want to ban it.
That is funny. Yes.
I remember when Kelly first came out, I was like, this is probably one of my least favorite summoners. And then they even like buffed it up a little bit more with the +1 speed, and I was just like, meh. But really, let's be honest here. It's not just Kelia. Like it's the team that she provides with Chaos Legion. Like I think if you were to play that same team with like Lear Deep Swimmer, you'd probably still you probably have a very effective win rate too.
Yeah,
possibly.
Kelia is a good low mana and mid mana.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, as for your question, just baby steps, man. It's every season end, you see some gains. You replace a card. Start with the reward cards. That's the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
Cards you use most. Like I had to buy a chicken. I was just pissed off. I had to pay $20 for 4 BCXs of Furious Chickens. Back then, it was like, I need this card. I have to spend the money because you use it every single match, and it's gold. The card that you like using the most, you got to get it.
Yeah.
Right? The one you most. But and now, how can you justify buying a gold chicken? That's tough. That's why I like the new format, the Modern Wild. I'm going there, and then I'm going to finish selling off my betas and alphas.
Oh, so you're gonna go to Modern?
I think I can't afford a Renin and a Valnamore and those cards. That's why I dipped out of Champ. I didn't want to cough up the $300 for a Valnamore.
That's so interesting. So okay, that's was going to lead into the follow-up question I had for you, which was like, do you not feel any FOMO not playing in Diamond or Champ? Because that's part of like what I'm struggling with, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I do decide to stay in gold, like obviously I want to play at the highest levels of the game, but from an earnings perspective, I wonder if I don't mind playing in gold. Actually, the meta in gold is good enough for me. Diamond adds a whole other layer to it, but I'm just curious where, do you ever have that itch to like want to go up into Diamond or Champion again?
I did it, and I couldn't do anything because a lot of my summoners were gold summoners. I do have maxed out summoners, and I would just use those all the time when I hit Diamond because I couldn't use my cards to their potential. And it's just a different ball game. If you have everything you need to be on a leaderboard, then stay in that league. But if you don't have everything you need, you might as well push up to get those extra rewards. It's just, how pro are you? Do you have experience on the leaderboard? Right.
For me, no, I don't. But
yeah, so just keep moving up. You can try. You got to try it for a season. If you're staying in gold, stay in gold just for a season to see where that gets you. If you just want to see where you're at in the competitiveness, and it comes down to what's beating you. Get that card. There's probably a card beating you that that you just need to get. And when you go to Modern Wild or Modern, you won't need that card anymore. You can afford to play again, right?
Yeah.
It's expensive to have everything, real expensive. Like Dark did real good. He's got the Archmage Arius. That's what he has is amazing, and he knows how to use it too.
Thanks.
When I had a Archmage Arius, I didn't know how to use it. I would lose. Speed would beat me every time. Speed beats you though when you use that card, right? That's what kills you. But
Yeah,
know how to use it. So even if I go rent the Renin and rent the Valnamore, I go and play it and I lose because I don't know how to use the card.
We were talking about that at the beginning, right? Where when I sent Yoden over to After Sound, and he would lose the next couple of battles, and it's forcing, right? Because you just rented this expensive car, this flashy car, and now you want to force it, and you have to pay attention to the past battles of your opponent, and you have to pay attention to the rule set. I mean, that's it.
Right. You know what's hard for me is pay attention to your own past battles, because that's where you get countered. I'm really looking into it right now and trying to remember what I played. If you're doing a quest, then everybody sees Yoden coming. Yoden's the same thing. You can beat him with speed, and that's and that's why the pros with Yoden are making sure there's supply runners out there and whatever else can beef them up.
Yep.
Right. So speed beats Yoden. Speed beats Archmage Arius. That's and Yoden's quite beatable. He used to be so unbeatable.
Yeah.
He's
he's definitely become much more beatable now.
Oh yeah. But I actually make a habit of trying not to use my Yoden. I try not to. Sometimes it burns me. It's like, okay, he used Yoden and he used everything he was supposed to use with it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, what I typically will do is, and it's again another reason why I like Waka, right? Because I like playing the Death Splinter, but you have to rotate the summoners, right? Yeah. So when you play, when I play a Waka, they can't tell whether I won or lost that match, right? They just know that I played it. And so, well, I guess they could go and look, right? But at the end of the day, I'll play it once. You can't spam it, right? Spamming your summoners or any really major cards makes you predictable. And if you become predictable, then they can counter you, right?
Yeah.
So you have to mix it up a bunch.
That's where I'm failing, I believe. I'm also looking at the leaderboard right now, and I'm looking at Ula Ocean there, and I'm trying to figure out. I keep playing until I get first, and that requires 20, 30 games in a row. Like I just sit there and play, and that's where my losing streaks come from. So it just dawned on me today. I go and look at Ula Ocean, and it seems like he's playing 5 games an hour. He goes in, plays 5 games, takes a break. Goes in, plays 5 games, takes a break. So when you play constantly, I'm pretty sure the algorithm's putting us into tougher matches somehow, or
yes.
or and I
no, is there an algorithm here?
I believe that the other guilds see a guy coming and they tell all their mates to get out there and kick his ass. He's playing, let's get him. I think that's happening. I think I'm failing in that way because I know I'm a top 10 player, but sometimes I just get shit kicked down to 35th, and it just drives me nuts. It's like, why is this happening to me? I've won champion once, right? I've done it. I think it was second. It was either second or I think it was second. Came in second in champion once, and I believe I should be up there all the time, and then I'm not, and I don't know why. I can't figure myself out.
So does not sound familiar, After Sound?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
We all go through it, right? We all go through it.
But those guys in first, I beat them all the time. They beat me all the time too. But if the pros, I know how to beat the pros. What I have a hard time with is some of these nobodies.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Why throw a wrench?
Yep.
There's a lot of good players out there, especially.
Really
I'd love to play champ again.
Yeah, and I think they're coming back, right? So I think, and to answer your question, After Sound, you're the one that actually convinced me to actually max out my summoners, right? Because you asked me, why don't you have Thaddeus? Do you remember that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, why don't I have Thaddeus? Because
Well, but your answer at that time
right,
was
I had the others.
enlightening for me, because you said I don't need every card, and for me that was a light switch moment where I'm just like, oh, okay, the only reason I'm buying Thaddeus is because he's the cheapest right now,
Yeah.
right? Whereas you already have a strategy built around a death team.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but sorry.
And I never even used Thaddeus, right? I don't use them
Yeah.
at all. But how I use it is once I had a core of maxed out Chaos Legion summoners, then I started building the cards around that. And again, I don't really need to play them. I mean, I give them to you, right? So that we can, do some experimentation and analysis
Yeah.
on how competitive the Chaos Legion cards are. And I think we have our answer, right? Is they're extremely competitive from a playability standpoint,
Correct. Yeah.
but from the collection power aspect right now, in order to climb up those leagues, you still have to have a bunch of other cards to build that are effective. And so that's where I think the rental market comes in. But at the end of the day, once we have the split, modern and wild, I think everything will settle into those two formats. And I think, yeah.
No, go. Sorry, finish your thought.
Yeah, so what's going to happen right before the modern wild split, and I think it's even happening now, is people are rushing to prep for that, right? There aren't, again, they've said it over and over again, there aren't enough summoners for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to play at a higher level, now is the time while the prices are relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. The other thing on the summoners is again back to all caps. He's the real OG. He during Untamed, he's buying Pyres at 50 cents, 50 cents, 50
Yeah.
cents.
Wow.
And he's like, when I see summoners at 50 cents, I'm buying them no matter which one it is. And that's how, and he just hangs on to them and he's like, now they're $1.50. What's a Pyre now? I don't know. It's probably like $5, $3.50, right?
More than that.
The same thing for summoners here in Chaos Legion. You're going to go 3, 4, 5 times on a summoner, but how long do you want to hold that though? How long do you want to hold it? When do you pull the trigger? When do you sit on that?
Yeah.
Right. And he just does it over time. He just buys it and sits on it. He just buys one a day or whatever he's making. I was renting Archmage Arius off of all caps when he had one, and I think it was 30 DC a day. What he was doing every day, he was buying a brownie. He says, every time you send me my DC, I buy a brownie. I buy a brownie. Once a day, he was buying a brownie. And then what happened to the brownie?
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things he does.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like, I don't know if you've looked at his deck, he sold everything. What he didn't sell was a reward card that he can only get $10 for. So what's the point? It's $10. It's maxed out. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Right. And then he just bought himself a couple summoners, and look at where he is all the time. He's always 2,500, 3,000 range with minimal summoners. He sold off, but he's still playing the game. He's playing the market. He's always got DEC. He's still playing. He's still doing his quests with what he has, and he doesn't have much there. It's hilarious.
I would love to chat with him actually, because I'm so curious as to how this whole thing came about with him.
Yeah.
Darkestnyte. So speaking of the whole modern and wild thing, one thing I'm curious about, and I haven't asked you this yet, but from a previous conversation, you said that you were probably going to spend a lot of time in wild format, right? Because you have a lot of the cards that can, but you could probably be one of the few people who can compete at the highest levels in modern, because but so here's the thing. You've never gone for leaderboard because you get to champ and you're like, I'm going to chill the rest of the season. That's no longer either a barrier or an incentive or disincentive, right? Because now it's just like, you love playing the game. So why wouldn't you want to go for leaderboard in champion? And especially if you're well suited to go for, or well suited to do the fact that you have max summoners from Untamed as well. Like, is that something you're planning to do? Maybe you do end up spending a little bit more time in modern.
Yes.
And going
so Yeah, so yes, the answer is yes. I do plan on playing both, and being competitive in both. But I don't know. Again, we talked about this last time. Do I have to set up a bot now? Because there aren't enough days in the enough hours in the day, right? And I have a real job, and so I can't sit around playing Splitterlands all day. I'd like to, but and I think I would burn out too, right? So you have to guard against burnout, right? You can play something so much that it becomes more like a job and
Hmm.
less entertainment, right? So I'm always on guard for that, which is why I take the break, right? I've already accomplished the mission. I got my dopamine fix. I look at myself in champion and I say, you know what? Let me go play something else.
Yeah.
And and while my ECR replenishes, and tomorrow, I think the season ends tomorrow, right?
Tuesday, we got 2 days
Tuesday.
left. Yeah.
2 days left. So, this is a great time, to think about Splinterlands, to watch videos, to get different perspectives. And I think one of the big things I've learned over the years of, knowing Mass and the Guild is there's always so much more to learn, right?
Hmm.
That's been the thing, right? Like not understanding what the assets are, not understanding what those abilities are at higher levels. That has been the biggest thing. The biggest regret that I have is not understanding how important a max level summoner was back when they were 50 cents, right? And not understanding what an asset that's reducing its count over time, what that's going to do to the price. I had no understanding of it because I'd never experienced anything like this,
Hmm.
right? And so really coming back, um, using what I've learned and now applying it to this point in time, I feel like I'm making good choices, right? And again, and to Mass's point, right? You'll know if you look at the cards that I have in gold that I've recently purchased, they're all ones that have utility,
Yeah.
right? Supply Runner is one of the ones that I bought, was one of the first ones I bought in gold. Guess what? It's a neutral card that I'm going to use,
Yeah.
right? A lot whenever I can. If there's, I mean, for me, I could buy cards as an investment for that are gold, but the utility is too high for other cards that I'm going to play with and maximize my rewards. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. It just sounded like you were planning to spend a lot of time in beta, or not beta, in wild, which would make sense because I think there's going to be less players there, right? A lot of players will be in the new um, modern league, and that's going to be very much focused on just people who don't have a lot of the older assets.
Yep.
So the thing is, it's like from a competitive standpoint, like from an earning standpoint, you might get a lot more in
Yeah,
wild. But
that's what
from
I
a
hope.
competitive standpoint, I wonder if that fire would like burn inside you to be like, hey, now I have every reason to go for leaderboard and maybe even the
Yep.
top of champ. And that could be a lot of fun, right?
I expect to go there and get my butt just
No,
right. Yeah.
it's a different game. Some of these newer players that we're dealing with that are up there, they'll understand. I don't know. We'll have an edge. We'll have an edge because we've been in it longer.
Yeah.
You're. It's easy for us. Like I got almost max gold everything, in for Chaos Legion. I don't have with the other stuff, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that'll put me back into a top 5 all the time.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna play wild because
You're 8 on the leaderboard right now for gold,
Really?
right?
Oh, look at that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
after
Are
losing.
you you're 7th? Are you trying to get? I mean, how difficult is it for you to get the top spot?
I've never done it.
Oh, you never done it. Oh gosh.
I
Okay.
think I might have got second in champ was my best finish.
Okay.
So yeah, second in champ. I thought I made it back then. I thought, okay, that's it. I'm here. I'm gonna be here all the time. And it's
Damn,
just
60,000 DEC. That's crazy.
Valnamore just I couldn't do it without Valnamore.
Yeah.
It,
Well,
it,
modern should definitely help then.
last match of the season, more times than not, I'm facing that Valnamore and I couldn't win it. And even then, back then, I knew it was the card I had to play and didn't have it. The other thing is I sold my Kraken. That's what screwed me up.
That card is so annoying for me to go against.
I hate that card.
Hate that card.
I hate it. You know what? I had 2 maxed out Krakens and I had a bunch of singles. I bought them for $1.25, and you know, when you buy something for $1.25 and you can make $1,000 on it, that's what I did. I sold both of them. I was like, man, I went 1,000 times on these.
You have quite the investor's discipline to be selling last year. Like I mean, I'm not trying to assume anything for you, Darkestnyte, but like when I think about your relationship with the cards, like you don't care what the prices are. You want to play with them, right? So, you know, I'm probably somewhere in the middle where it's just like, you know, if prices were to go crazy and I only have like one, you know, maxed out maybe Quixodevious or Thaddeus Brood, and that thing does like 100x, like I don't know. I'm just be like, yeah, I guess I could sell it. But,
well,
yeah,
the Kraken, one of the reasons I sold it too is I didn't use it that much, and you know, this is before Chaos. So when you're using the Kraken, it's obviously high mana, and if it is high mana, I'd be facing a Valdemar, and I had an Ulrich, and even if I did, you don't really use it if you don't have high mana, so I never used the card. And it comes down to that Valdemar again, my nemesis. And you have a Valdemar, hey, Dark?
I do.
How's that going for you?
It's going good.
Yeah. So you need a Kraken. You have a Valdemar, you have to have a Kraken because that's a high mana match.
Yes.
Right? And that's, you know, it's one of those cards I just don't have anymore because I just seen the profit I was making off of it.
No,
I was buying those.
I don't think selling at the top will ever be viewed as a bad decision. So, you know,
not ever. Yeah. And I would say, ironically, probably one of the better water splinter cards is Djinn Shadas, right?
Yeah.
That card is, and that's one of the ones I got in gold, right? Because I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And when it did, when we had the Luna crash, it went to, even for gold, it just completely crashed. And that was the only opportunity that I would have had to actually get it.
Smart move to roll in.
Yeah.
All right. So, I want to take a quick moment because we're like so far behind on comments, but I did want to appreciate everybody who's here. So Justin, who I think is a fellow guildmate, asking, do you think Rebellion will double the price and double supply and also half the power? That's a lot in there. I don't think they're going to double the price. I don't think they're going to double the supply either, but they might half the power.
Well, did they have the power for dice?
They have the power from Untamed to Chaos Legion. Here, Justin, where I could see this going. Sorry, let me not speculate on Rebellion, but I feel like Chaos Legion was like the big coming out party, right? Chaos Legion and the amount of packs is the like, hey, this is how many players we expect to have in the future. And I can see Rebellion kind of being the pair with that because if I remember correctly, Beta had 900,000 packs sold, and then Untamed had about 1.5 million. So it was like 1.5x that. So I don't know that we're going to double, but I can see us being slightly over the 15 million packs. Again, that's only if we end up selling out of Chaos Legion relatively soon.
So 20 million is what you would say then.
Yeah, I could see it being like so I can't see it being 30 million or more. I can see it being 20 million if the player base accounts for that.
Yeah, if you have a 25% player base growth, daily active users, then it goes to 20. But if our player base stays the same, I don't know if you print more packs, right? It all has to be scaled.
Yeah, I can't see Rebellion being less than 15 million.
No,
but I can see it being. I can see it being 50. Yeah, I can see it being 15 million or slightly more.
Yeah, I would say that Matt they'll do a calculation, right? They know what their objectives are. They'll figure all of that out, and I think they'll do a good job.
I mean, right now, even with all the people calling for packs to be burned, again, Yabamat hasn't been proven wrong yet, and I'm not saying that he can't be. I'm just saying that we haven't given the allotted time. He said from the beginning that he wanted this to last a full year, so anywhere between October to January for me, if we sell out in that time, will be him hitting his goal. So
there. Halfway done.
Yeah, and we're halfway done. All right, looks like people want to hear more of your sexy voice, Masshole. So we got to get you a mic.
I'm just on an iPhone, dude.
I know.
I play on my phone.
I love the new game show. Oh, you're one of the few. I play on my phone when I don't have a choice, or if I don't feel like getting up to go to the computer. But I can't wait until the mobile experience is redesigned.
They need to really.
It's been very frustrating. It's another reason I sold off Champ, is I couldn't join tournaments because everything was different. I couldn't play on the app to do that, and that's where the real money was. And I was pro, but I couldn't use my phone to do it efficiently.
Yeah.
If I had a computer, I didn't have a computer.
Yep.
I did all this off my phone. Everything.
That's crazy.
That's everything's on my phone. And awesome. My Hive signer, like all that stuff is all through the phone. I do have it on computer now. I finally got a laptop.
That just shows that even with where the technology currently is for phone and mobile, people anywhere in the world could get the apps and do it on a single phone. State of Survival, I would probably keep them at 1 BCX. I think that's what we were counting earlier, and it looks like Ben had the same question. Alex is saying he sold his gold Grum legendary and bought land. Oh, we haven't even talked about land with Masshole, so we got to get to that. Let me just catch up with some of the other folks here. So Igor, what's going on? Hello. All right, so they were chatting with one another. So Andrew, fellow Archmage Arius holder. I wonder how there's only 87 out there in the world. Yeah, y'all need to get like some t-shirts made.
Yeah, well, you actually see it in my back. I have a little pair of Archmage Arius. The day I bought it, I printed out the graphic and hung it up on my wall.
Dishonest, he's saying, shout out to all the nobodies. Keep it coming. Keep scaring them. Yep, that's exactly.
Really okay? That guy's saying the mic. Am I muffled or?
You were earlier.
Yeah, you were muffled a little bit earlier.
Oh, maybe I was just
it sounds better now, but you were cutting out at a certain point. I think that's when he messaged it. But if it had continued, I would have let you know. But you've been coming through somewhat clearly. So after a while, algorithm will change the rule set. I need to hear more about this algorithm. Are we fighting like the Facebook of play to earn? I'm a nobody.
Here's the thing, right? You and I.
You'll start somewhere, buddy. You'll start somewhere.
Yeah. You said your barrier was 3,200. I found the same thing. Mm-hmm. Then my barrier was the 35 to 3,600 to prevent me from getting into champion. And you'd see the string of wins and then also the string of losses, right? Yeah. And the problem was that for the wins, I would only get 10 or 15 points, but for the losses, I would lose 30.
It's so frustrating,
right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely something weird there. There's definitely something weird there. So, and maybe the advice we got, right? Play 5 games, take a break. Play 5 games, take a break. That really makes a lot of sense. It really does.
I think there's something going on there. I think the guilds get together and like Biza does it to me all the time. I'll play Biza. He'll switch his accounts. I'll play him next again.
Oh gosh,
he does that. I swear they do it. I think we're not doing enough research on these other guilds.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see a algorithm there on how things work. Mm-hmm. You always play someone strong when you haven't played for a while, so you got to be on your toes. Your first game after hours of not playing or going to work and coming home.
Yep.
You got to be on your toes right away. Lots of times you lose that first match, and that was one you needed to win.
Yes, exactly.
All the time. You play someone above you when you come back. I swear it happens.
Yeah. So I call it, and again, it was funny, right? It's hunting for whales, right? Because when you play someone that's significantly higher than you in the ranking, you get more points for that, right? You don't. I mean, if they're equal your ranking or lower, that's the way you get the 10 points from. They're easier to beat theoretically, but the reality is, you want to beat somebody that's much higher than you in rank to get those 70 points. That one that pushed me into champion, I got 56 points for that, right? Mm-hmm. And it was someone that was already in champion, and they were like 4,200, I think. So yeah, there's definitely something going on. And remember, I said I didn't want to start a conspiracy theory, right?
I was waiting to see if you were going to get into this. Yeah. I need to put like a label here, or a little big little like conspiracy warning, because there's no evidence of this, but If you want to get into it, you can.
Oh, but it's sour grapes, right? I lost a game. I felt I should have won, and that game was so important to push me to that next level that I'm biased, right? Oh, somebody's doing something to me, right? That's where that comes from. But
Yeah, no, I get it. I've been there before.
but you experience the same thing. Mass experiences
Yeah.
the same thing, right? We're all experiencing the same thing, which is probably a feedback loop,
It's
right?
probably us playing too much.
Yeah. There we have it.
The new don't play too much, and even though I'm advising it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm
playing too much.
I'm just imagining Yabamat like chilling on his couch with like the whole algorithm in front of him, being like, "Oh, look at Darkestnyte. He's been playing for 3 hours. All right, I'm gonna give him somebody really tough."
Exactly.
And he's just like there, like on his computer, just managing all the fights.
Well, yeah, something's going on there. I think just when you play, it matters. A lot of what bothers me, one of the things that's always bothered me about this game is there's no point in playing once you hit first. You have only one direction to go.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get those matches against someone above you. And it's no incentive to play in first place, second place, third place. They'll sit there. So you're not playing pros.
Right. Exactly.
And that always happens. It's like you can only get first if you beat someone above you, or if and they're not playing. If you hit first, you're gonna play on. You're gonna keep going, right?
Because you can only lose, right? If you lose, you'll be knocked out of
first place, right?
Well, yeah,
very confident.
Yeah, you don't have any more incentive because it's one of those like you win and you get +5, you lose and you get -30. So
it's tough up there. They don't play. It's like the pros don't play as much, and I got to get there. I got like pushing 700 games this season. I was like, I'm gonna get first. I was just my mindset at the beginning of the season. I'm just gonna go to first. I'm gonna play until I get to first, then I'll stop. So I got to first, then I stopped, and then I couldn't get there again. So I just kept playing until I got there, and it doesn't work. It's not working.
Yeah.
So I got to think. I don't know what the strategy is, but I'm working on it. I just can't seem to get first place.
All right, Ben's gonna take off. Ben, it was great having you here. I know it's super late in Asia,
Yeah,
but it looks like Masshole. People want you to come back for round 2 at some point, so we'll have to make that happen.
And we got to get all caps on too, for sure.
That would be fun. Would love to hear from, I guess, the OGest of OGs, right?
Yeah, sure. No, he's a great guy. All caps.
Yeah. Is everybody here planning to go to Splinterfest?
I want to go. I need to get my passport. Never left the country.
You're in Canada, aren't you?
Yes.
I can tell. So
I guess I just got the accent.
I'm going to say Edmonton area.
Yep, Edmonton. How did you figure that out?
So I used to work for a company in Toronto called Soft Choice, and some of my project managers lived in Edmonton, and there's a very particular speech pattern for there. So,
really?
Oh, nice pickup on that.
All caps is here too. He's a friend of mine.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Oh, so did you guys know each other before coming into Splinterlands, or did you guys meet through Splinterlands?
No, we knew each other before. He's the one that told me to play this game.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I was rooming with him for a bit there a few years ago, and every day after work, we were in business. He'd go to his computer. I figured he was just doing the business work, right? And he's like, "Oh, what do you do every day there?" Like, "Oh, I'm playing a game." I only play games that make me money, he told me. And back then, I was playing Agario, right? I was just shooting bubbles, spending money, spending $5 a week playing this game. Well, that wasn't making me nothing. Right. So I started I bought some cards, and then I started getting good. Then I started getting competitive. And next thing you know, that's why my name is Masshole, because in Agario, my name was Masshole.
Yep. Same
because in the game, you're trying to get mass, right? So it's actually, I should have.
That makes sense.
It doesn't work so good in Splinterlands, though. Yeah. So I wish I had a different name. I really wish I did. I don't know if you can change your name in Splinterlands.
Probably not, because there's too much tied into it.
Yeah, tied to the wallet. I mean, you could probably get them to, from a development side, do something, but I don't think so. It's tied to your wallet and keys and all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Here, do you guys have any tips for State of Survival on how to use Zyvax Vool?
Oh yeah. So I sent you that one. You don't like to use it though.
I've never used it. Nope.
Never.
I don't know how to.
Haven't touched it.
So Zyvax, it's niche, right? So it's the same way that you would want to use. Hold on, let me just pull it up real quick. So if you look at what it has.
Oh, here, I can pull it up here.
It has recharge, right? And I know people hate recharge, right?
I don't hate it, but I don't think that it's awesome.
Oh, but it's good against things that have a lot of regen, right? So anything like Bakjira, Cube, and it has Death Blow, right? So it's meant to fight Llama Kron.
Yeah. Or Llama Cube.
Llama Cube, any of those, right? It'll destroy them.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's. So if you see that you have an option to play dragons, you see that your opponent has doing llama anything, right? You definitely want to throw that in. And again, you're not going to waste your time with a small hit, right? At max level, that'll do 18 points of damage.
Holy crap! Wait, you could take out Llama Kron in one turn with this card?
Absolutely.
Did you see that one I sent on Discord a while ago?
No, I must have missed it. Shoot. Wait, okay. See, I'm totally devaluing this card now because for 17 mana, you play him, Void Dragon, and Quicks the Devious, and you have a perfect Lamacron counter.
Yep.
Yep.
Again, that's only at the highest levels.
I find it so hard speculating on what the other guy's going to play.
Yeah.
17 mana. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your tip, State of Survival. I learned something new today. So Brian says, I think it's a mistake to print the same amount of neutral cards compared to other splinters in the same edition.
Ooh, that's interesting. I would love to know why.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting point of view. It should be, again, we should be neutral to that, right? Neutral cards are highly beneficial to new players, right?
Yep.
Like those cards allow them to make use of the summoners that they actually have, right? So I would say we would need more neutral cards because that allows people to again climb up and be competitive.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
All right,
that's interesting perspective.
Yeah, like I'm surprised, right? To be honest, I'm surprised, and I'm a fan of this card again, and I don't know why, but Gargoyle Lion, right? That card should be used by more new players because it's a neutral, basically tank, right? So so Gargoyle Lion. I mean, that's a great card.
That's horrible.
It has flight, right? It has flight.
If I used the other one more, like once in the last 6 months, Zavix Blue or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. I never use it.
Yeah,
one of those cards you don't need in my eyes.
Yeah.
The thing is that they're slow. The Gargoyle Lion's slow. The Zax Vool is slow. So
yeah,
they put some speed on that guy, I'd probably use him a lot more. Speed is what wins in this game.
Yeah.
It would suck to recharge and miss.
So that is again proper rule set, right? So it's the everyone hits, right? That's a good rule set for that. But again, it's all situational. To your point, like that these are the type of conversations.
Yeah. I mean, I just like him as a cheap void tank. Like I think that he has a lot of specific. Again, it's one of those like you can build a team, but I feel like he's one of those auxiliary pieces where let's say it's 49 mana instead of 50 mana, and you need to throw somebody who's like one less. He could be that guy for 6 mana. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, I agree. I don't use him all the time, but I've come around to him in Silver Plus once he gets void.
Right. Yeah. The problem, I mean, even at higher level, right? Like when would you pick this over something else? That Enrage, right, will bump up his speed, right? It'll bump up his attack, bump up his health.
Well, to counter what you're saying, when would you pick him over someone else? Well, the thing is, if you don't have that someone else, and if you can buy him for a penny versus paying $1 per BCX for the better version, that's where he comes in handy.
Right. And this card, I mean, again, will you, once you find a better alternative, will you continue to use this? Of course not, right?
Yeah,
But
true.
to get you to that point where you can win a couple of matches, and get you, what would be better, right? Just looking at it, maybe a Legionnaire Alvar, right? Might be a better option, or something else, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, it's one of those cards that if you don't have any options, to max that out costs a couple of bucks, right? So
Someone thought you were from Boston, masshole.
I've heard that before.
yeah,
You gotten that before, really? That's
Yes,
fascinating. I think it's more impressive that Darkestnyte literally hit it.
yeah. But I spent a long time working for a Canadian company, right? So I don't think most people will be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree on the supply runner. Ooh, Ron's saying that they can relate with the win-loss conspiracy. So it seems like we already got 4 people here saying that there's something. All right, we're gonna have to get who should we subpoena from the team to discuss this?
Yeah, well, it's our new theory.
How does the matchmaking process work?
Absolutely, they'll never tell us that. I would not if I were them, right? But it's like
they don't have anything to hide. They don't think they have anything to conceal.
Yeah, I'm curious why you think why they wouldn't.
Because everyone's going to have an opinion about it.
It's right? The people, it's the players that are conspire to win. There's money involved, right?
Well, point. That's
so that people always find a way to get you.
Yeah.
And these guys, but before, I love this change. As soon as they changed where they couldn't see who you were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my game, I was winning way more.
Yeah, it was a lot better.
When I started going to first place early on in the season, because they couldn't see who was coming.
Right.
And when you see me coming, you're playing your best, and I like that. Now you don't. Now people have to give their best every time, right? Because you just don't know who's coming out there.
Yes, and in fact, when After Sound beats me, and I'm like, oh man, or you, I'm like, really? And it means a lot when you get beat by your guildies. You're like, oh, everyone's gonna see this.
All right, someone's saying that William's saying that we look alike, so I guess maybe it's just a guild thing. See if I put my face near yours, masshole.
Oh man, I need to get a beard now. Damn it.
Oh yeah, we can just do a whole beard thing together. Andrew's going to Splinterfest. Hey, I'm actually really excited about this. I hope I hope we get to meet a lot of people. It's been, so as I've said to Darkestnyte and many of the folks on the stream, it's been fun to actually get to know people through this game. So having a physical location for us to all meet would be great.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Can't wait to meet Red. He's pretty quiet. I want to see some of these quieter guys.
Who's pretty quiet?
Red. Redundancy.
Oh, Redundancy. Oh, gotcha.
Pretty quiet, but he's in there.
Yeah.
He said a couple things. Yeah.
And then Gargoyle line will be more playable. Ooh, actually, he would be a great tank with, because everybody who has Void now kind of gets that. What's that called? With that Grum effect, right? With Void armor and Void, I find that to be super powerful.
Yeah.
So again, situational, right? We're learning. The new meta is going to change. And again, I'm not trying to pump the price of a Gargoyle Lion, though. I'm just saying, at 1 cent, it's $4, right? To max it out.
No, I think it makes perfect sense as a budget option for newer players, right? You're not going to be able to get. I don't know who has like Clay Golem or something. Clay Golem wasn't even that great, but some of the other like Void or anti-magic tanks.
Oh yeah.
So I hope bots won't attend. This actually got a chuckle out of me. I would love to see them walk around. I would love to see. I want to see
him.
Bot owners or like whoever has bot farms. Yeah. I would just love to meet them there and pick their brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a thing, right? Like I'm bot neutral, right? And I would love to understand the drivers, right? Like at what point did they come in and said, "Hey, I can make a lot of money playing this game with and make the investment," because they still have to make the investment, right? There are it costs $10, and if there are 300,000 bots, that's $3 million, right? That these guys have invested into the game, right? So, I mean, there's a thought process there, right? And I'd love to really understand that thought process.
No, same here. I mean, because the thing is, it's an investment, right? So
Yeah.
people are choosing to interact with the game this way. That the team is ultimately saying, this isn't against the terms of service, but it's definitely against the ethos of what we want the game to be, right? The type of experience. So it's one of those like, okay, well, with the changes that are coming up, where do current as well as potential future bot farmers, where would they put that instead, right? Like, and that was always my question. I'm just like, if you had, because to set up a 10,000 bot farm, that's $100,000, right? Just
Yeah.
in spell books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if I had $100,000 that I wanted to throw at this game, like why wouldn't you put it into SPS? Why wouldn't you put it into cards? Why wouldn't you put it into, you know what I mean? Like, so just understanding where they're coming from.
Well, it might make it easier for them, right? If they can consolidate all
Yeah.
the holdings into a few, but come away from it with better, more valuable winnings, right? Then that's way more valuable for them. I hope, right?
Mhm.
Now the downside is that they've already made an investment of, who knows, $100,000 for, So how do they reconcile that?
Yeah.
That's going to be, and again, maybe they say, hey, you know what? The winnings that I'll get over time will outweigh that. So let's just shift with the, with how it's set up here. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, for sure. So Icy Flow, we answered this already. I think Darkestnyte said about $50. The price range that I give is anywhere between where Quicks is at as a floor to where Chances is at a ceiling. But Masshole, where would you say you expect the Chaos Legion Legendary Summoner prices to be? Pure speculation, not financial advice.
For me, it's just theory. The collection power of the card is compared to previous
Chances.
legendary cards. Yeah, with Chancius, dragons are worth more. They're always going to be worth more. Quicks is kind of underrated right now. When we move over, people find ways. Quicks is a real Jotun killer. With Carnage Titan there,
Yeah.
that's going to be a good card in modern format. You gotta, once you eliminate some of these other the Renans and the beta stuff, a lot of these cards are going to go up, right? Like especially the kitty. Like the kitty's just that thing's still going to go up. And, it's hard to believe, but it's the most unbeatable card in the game. How are they going to counter that? They figured out how to nerf Jotun with other cards, right? Jotun's not really nerfed, but they have to create cards to beat other cards, right?
Yeah.
So Jotun became more and more beatable. When he came out, you couldn't beat that card.
Yeah.
I was stomping people, man.
Yeah.
One of the first ones to get it.
Yeah. Jotun's about to be countered even more with the new reflection shield too.
Yes, exactly. Right. But it's just look at the price of what is it? Is it half now? A legendary is half of collection power to
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were cut by half.
So in theory, I just apply theory. If an untamed summoner is $500 and the chaos summoner should be $250 in theory, right? Of the same one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just depends on the meta. Which one's meta, right?
So you think so while they're in print, don't you think they'll be a little bit lower?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, but in theory, my theory is when everything's sold out.
Sure. Okay.
Right. And then the utility. So Quicks right now could be too high because he's a dragon. So he's a legendary. The kitty's way too good though. So 423. And what's a Quicks at?
I'm surprised that like Camila would be the one that I would compare to Quicks, and I'm surprised she's down at $44, $45.
Camila's I've never found it that useful. He became more useful with Harklaw.
Yeah,
that it's real handy having those two.
Darkestnyte, you might be right on the money here because Chances is sitting at $100 right now, list price. So half of that would be $50. That's right.
Yeah, but remember the difference, right? So Chansey is out of print now, right? So we're not getting any more of those. We will get the new guys. And that's going to do something to the price as well. But to Mass's point, though, right? It's when everything is sold out. I think they reach parity with each other. unless
So
you
that's
think?
where your deal's coming from. If you see that new summoner coming out, and he'll probably be more than $100 out of the gate. I don't know. No, it's not going to be $100. In theory, it should be $50. So if you're picking them up for 25, you're doing good. Because when that's sold out, that'll double. Right?
Yeah.
They're going to come out with more things. See, the thing with the summoner is if you don't have a Lord A or a return fire guy, what is that going to do with what's not affliction, but come on,
Amplify.
Mm-hmm. What is amplify going to do out of the gate if not a lot of guys have a Lord Arianthus?
Yeah, that's true.
The Pelipper Bandit, prismatic energy, like there's not a lot of thorns over in
life. Yeah,
White
no,
Land,
there's not.
right? So they got to come up with some more cards there.
Well, Onyx Sentinel, right? That's one we talked about in Guild.
Yeah,
right?
in Champ League only though, right? That's a thing. Cards are worth more.
Right.
The cards are worth more. That card's worth more in Champ than any other league, because Return Fire is way behind in the game. It always has been.
Yeah.
So, and there's the Wood Nymph is a bronze thing. Like those cards that are played in every league also become worth more, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the Onyx, if I was in Champ League, I would need to have an Onyx. It would be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not. So I ditched the card. It's like, I don't need this card. I have a Lord A. I've got same price, right?
Yeah, true.
To cast. Oh yeah, he's 5. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Use it.
All right, so hopefully that makes sense for you. Icy Flow, Liberty. I've noticed the same thing too. I mean, I'm in high diamond right now, and I shouldn't be in whatever place I'm in, but I am. Here, actually, let's take a look at the leaderboard. So I'm in 18th right now for diamond leaderboard, but no. But look at this. Look at it. This is all people renting out their cards for the last time. Look at all this low power.
Yeah.
So I'm not really in 18th place, because as soon as they bring their power back, I wouldn't get there. But yeah. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take a snapshot right now.
Absolutely.
I would also like to know the perspective former bond. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're on the leaderboard.
Yes.
I'm on the leaderboard. Hopefully the market rental system crashes in like the next 48 hours, and then I just get to stay here. That'd be great.
That's kind of happening, right? They can't find kitties right now, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of happening. So we'll see.
I have a gold one.
It's fun.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Is it level 3 or level 2?
It's a level 2. All GFLs summoners are level, so you can play them in silver leagues.
Gotcha. Well, no, but I didn't know if you had leveled him up to level 3. I know you sent him to me for the silver fray, so yes. I saw that he was level 2 there, but I didn't know if he was actually level 3.
No, he's not. I wish.
That'd be quite another investment, right? To get him to gold.
Yeah, I have a regular foil one for the league, for league play, and then that one I just use for brawls. Which obviously is top notch in brawls to have that card.
Yeah.
And I just can't sell it. There's no way. It's way too much utility. It's the best summoner in the game.
Yeah. All right. That's a good question for both of you guys. And then I don't know how you guys are doing on time, but we can start to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the most expensive card you've bought? Now, you've already talked about this here, Darkestnyte, but if you want to just give a short snippet for anybody who's new, I think they'll be excited to hear that story. And then Masso will move on to you.
Yep. So the most expensive card up until recently was Archmage Arius. I bought that only because it was a dragon, which I love dragons. And it was at the time $950. Did I buy that from you?
All Caps sold it to me, and I put it on.
That's awesome.
That's so funny.
So that makes me happy. So so bought it for $900, and I live by myself, right? So I said, hey, does anyone think this is a bad idea? No. And I think you might have been the person that told me, hey, have you looked at your account recently on how much it's grown? And I said, how did I do that? I don't know if you remember the conversation. Like, how do I do that? And then you directed me to Peak Monsters, and I was shocked by what I saw.
Yeah.
Uh, but actually, the most expensive card that I bought was Oster Rotwell, and I was trying to get a magic version of Mylar Crueling, right?
Okay.
And my rationale was Mylar was dominating at the lower levels, but I wasn't playing at the lower levels, right? I was playing the higher level where it's more magic. And so I ended up buying that one way overpriced, well, compared to where it is now.
True. Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't think it was a bad idea. One, because there weren't a lot on the market. There were very few that were maxed out. Now there are plenty more. I think people are dumping them a little bit. But I'm still a fan of, again, because I play Death. I like the idea of having options, right? Because it's so predictable, and you can get it wrong, right? If you pick wrong for your summoner on Death, it can cost you the game, right? If I pick Ouster, and the person goes range, then terrible pick, right? But if they go magic, I usually will win that battle, right? So it's an all or nothing type splitter. Again, Waka changes that because now they have to anticipate, poison, right? We all hate poison, right? I mean, I don't think any of us doesn't hate it. So
I mean, I hate playing against it, but I love using it. It's one of my favorite reasons for Dr. Blight. Except he never sticks it when I need him to.
Right.
This dude will have like 6 turns, and I'm just like, this is not 50%. I don't care.
Yes, I agree. So actually, that's a question, another conspiracy theory. Do both of those buffs stack to give you 2 50% chances?
You guys watch baseball? Your BABIP or whatever that's called?
No, I don't.
They have some sort of stat there where you actually are getting screwed. There's a baseball stat that goes along those lines.
Yeah. So yeah, because you asked me earlier, right? Well, I was using a poison, monster with Waka, right? And again, I don't know if I'm not getting 2 chances at 50, 50.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Probably not.
I hold on. I don't want to pass over the fact that the only Canadian here pays more attention to America's favorite pastime than you and me, Darkestnyte.
Yeah,
I love ball.
He brought in a baseball reference, and we're both like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. What? Yeah. Yeah, that is actually pretty funny.
All right, Matt. So let's close this out. What's your most expensive card that you've ever bought?
Mine's real embarrassing. Adelaide Bright Wing.
Woo!
That's not a terrible card. Did you just buy it at the top?
$700 for it.
How much?
I paid $700 for it.
For a maxed out version?
No, gold.
Oh, okay.
Were you buying it right at the beginning?
Oh, huh?
Were you buying it right at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
Oh,
huge mistake.
Man. Where is she now? 115.
But man,
to answer your question, that's what I bought. That was the most expensive card I bought. Everything else I got for cheaper than that. Everything.
Right. Yeah. Everybody knows mine. I bought my Jin O'Shaughnessy for $329. I even made a video about it. That thing's down now too. It's just 63.
You're taking your licks on that one too, eh?
Yeah, it's an expensive lesson learned, and the sad part is I just don't even use them anymore. So Kelly has just got so many better options.
Well, that's the thing with this game. We all make mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in this game, and that's how you learn. And obviously, I've made a lot of money in this game, and even then, I knew better when I bought that Adelaide. I was like, oh, this card's gonna be good, and I just couldn't wait. I bought the gold right away, and then I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, just hanging my head. I'm an idiot. That was the most I spent on a card. I know. I think I bought the Renin. I bought it off all caps for $750. Not the Renin, the
Archmage?
Prince Julian.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Wait, you have a Prince Julian?
No, I bought it and I sold it.
Oh, you bought it? Wait, when did you sell it? Were you the guy that sold it for $30,000 or something?
No, I wish. I probably got $1,200 for it, And I'm not sure if I was the one that sold you that Archmage. I think I got 13 for that back in the day because I used to have one.
Mine was 950. Yeah, I'll never.
Yeah.
It's a day
So
that lived for me. Yeah.
I sold those 2 cards. Were more than my Adelaide. I'm pretty sure I paid him 900 for the Archmage at the time, and sold it for like 13. And then with the PJ, I sold it for probably around the same, about $12. I made a few $100s on those cards. And hindsight, look at it now, right? Look at it now. The thing is, with those listed prices, nobody's
not
gonna
real.
buy them.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna buy it.
Nobody's gonna buy it. Yeah,
right. Like that's I've seen, you can see it, right? There's no way somebody's gonna spend 100,000 on a card.
No,
not happening.
Unless they do it as an investment, right? Though some people with really deep pockets come in and say, "Hey, long term." I will tell you, one of the more interesting sales, I'll end it with this, was a Shinlo. Right, I bought a Shinlo for $250, but I'll be honest with you, the card sucked. Right, and I was like, I liked it because it was dragons. Right, it's the only reason why I bought it. And then I ended up, turning it when everything peaked last, I think it was last August or whatever. I ended up selling it then because I said I never use this card, and even at max, right, it still wasn't great.
Yeah, you're right. Gosh, that's not good at all.
Right, but at the time when this card came out, it was one of the few Magic sneak cards, right?
Yep.
So at the time it was great, and for power, I guess it was good. Right, but without it being maxed out, I just couldn't do it. But I miss it. Right, I loved having that dragon card. So
yeah,
he's real great with the Goblin Sorcerer.
Yeah,
that's a real.
We do it
people
too,
beating people with that is hilarious.
Yes, exactly.
All right, last question from Ron. Will you guys dip your toes in Champion? I think Massel and I are probably going to be in Gold/Diamond. I know that Darkestnyte is going to be up in Champion though.
Absolutely, yeah. That's going to be the goal to get there. We have to do some video on some of those chest openings, right?
For sure. Well, I don't know that I'll be able to stream Tuesday morning, but I'm definitely going to be streaming at some point in the day or afternoon. So you guys are welcome to join. I mean, we'll just be kind of seeing what the new rewards are like and how the thing is. Yeah. So let's go ahead and close this out. Any final thoughts? We are less than 48 hours away from probably one of the biggest game updates that we've had in a while. Yep. And I don't know if you want to just leave some parting wisdom for folks out here.
Master,
don't bet against Yaba.
It's a good way to go.
Unless you're playing him in a
I've done it before. You don't want to do that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think for me, just what I always say, right? I'm super excited. Lots of changes coming fast and furious. I'm so proud and thankful to the dev team, right, for putting in as much work as they have, and to really make the investments that they made. I mean, a lot of the investments that we're realizing the benefits of right now, they made those investments a year ago. And they didn't really say anything, right? Yeah. They just say, hey, we're gonna grow the team, and that was it in the town hall, right? Or I think at the time AMA, right? Wow, we're gonna grow the team. Well, now we're seeing how much they grew the team by, right? And what they've been working on, and now we have the rewards for that, right? We on Faith purchased nodes last week, right? On the hopes that they would actually do the implementation for them. Think about that, right? There's no product right now that we can run those licenses on, but we know, we have faith that they're going to do that.
We're still waiting for land.
Yeah.
Well, we never even got to land with Massel, but we'll save that for round two.
Next time. Next time. Sure.
But hopefully by that time, there will be a little bit more land information we can put out there.
Yeah, I think I have faith that land will come and it'll be everything that we really not necessarily want it to be, but everything we need it to be to further the growth of the game and to justify what people are paying for that land. Right? That's really what it's going to come down to, right? Like, how will I feel as a pseudo investor when I walk onto my land or populate a land, for the first time? Like, what will that feeling be? Yeah. Right. And that'll say everything right there. Right.
So. I agree.
Yep.
Cool, gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time today. This was a lot of fun. Masshole, good to finally chat with you. Well, actually, we've chatted before with some guild stuff. You helped me out in one of my frays, but good to actually spend some time digging into more of your Splinterlands experience and your history. So,
Been great.
yeah. All right. For everybody who's here and who closed out the show with us, I appreciate you guys. I will be back on Tuesday sometime, probably not this early. Yeah, good luck. Everybody have a great end of season, and we'll see you then.